Everybody, it's Tuesday, February 10th, 2026. Welcome to the Giant Bombcast, episode 927. I'm your host, Jan Ochoa. Joining me, co-captain of the ship, Jeff Grubb.
I had myself muted. Oh, no.
This is going to be great.
It's going to be bad,
It's gonna be good.
Oh, no.
No one can silence Jeff Grubb except himself. That's right.
That's right. Uh-huh.
Jeff Backlash is on assignment as well as Dan Reichert. So we just got the Mistbusters up in this podcast. So rounding out this golden trio we have here today, the bird boy of games media, Mike Menotti.
Circuits and wires. I have to tune my spider chair.
It haunts us to this day. I mean, it was yesterday, but to this day.
It bugs me so much. I think I stopped liking Myst because of that puzzle yesterday for Myst 4.
Don't worry.
We'll find some good puzzles again, Jan. Don't worry.
Okay.
We'll get you back. Look, we did it. We overcame it. We
did it. It was just like, did we need that bottom floor puzzle?
No, that's clearly its flaw. It was too much.
Apologies to folks that have not seen Monday Morning's Myst with Mitch. You should, though. It is a very fun series of the three of us solving puzzles. Mikey, can you just hit me with a death triangle real quick?
Death triangle. Or do you want a whole thing?
Yeah, sure. Give me the whole thing.
I trust. We gotta let our sons out. There's a man present inside of the book. In it. Death triangle.
It's like being transported to London.
Exactly. Good old London town. And maybe one day we can see the fine folks over there at London, perhaps, if there's no specific stretch goal, but perhaps we could go on the road if folks would support us. Jeff Grubb, how could folks support us?
Yeah, let's make that happen. Go to giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member. If you do that, you ensure we can keep doing all that cool stuff, like maybe one day going to London. Yeah, Jan, let's do that.
Let's do that.
I'll do my voice the entire time. They'll love it.
And you could yell English and it'll be okay on this trip, Mike. So that'll be good.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
If you become a premium member, you get ad-free episodes. You get a bunch of goodies. I'm going to record a new Grub Snacks premium, today. We also... should we talk about, there's a show dropping today, right, Jan? Did we change that? Is that good?
Oh, yeah, I got a spiel prepared for that.
Okay, so there's some extra goodies here coming up pretty soon. Giantbomb.com/join, become a premium member. We really thank everyone who has done that so far, and please, if you want to join, you should do so. And if you can't, just tell a friend about the website.
Jeff, chat's very excited because it sounded like you said nude Grub Snacks.
That's what I also heard.
That's what I said. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, there you go, folks. I mean, Valentine's Day is around the corner, so what better thing to get your significant other
and your partner?
This is for all the couples out there.
than a nude Grub Snacks.
I know you need this now more than ever.
Exactly. In these trying times, what else could satiate nothing than a nude Grub Snacks? Grub mentioned it there, but we've got a bunch of premium stuff dropping all over the place. A bunch of stuff in the works. Last week, we announced a new season of This Is the Run. Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Folks, because Dan is out on assignment, that is why we have not been able to get a run up and running, or at least a practice run,
Right, some testing, yeah.
Some testing. But as soon as Dan gets back, and there is some travel happening this week, we will get the show back up and running with everyone's favorite host, Regis Philbin. Mike, don't worry. I also thought it was Philman for the longest time.
Thank you, Jan. You're
an
ally.
That's right. I'm an ally.
To me.
to Mike Menotti alone. But after the Giant Bombcast today, folks, if you're watching live, I suggest you head over to the website or to YouTube for a little surprise, a show that our own Chuck Zimmerheld has been piloting with Jeff Grubb and I. I don't want to give too many spoilers, but you're in for a mystical, magical time. With
Have you ever been to the heavy side layer?
I have not. Grub.
Me neither. I'm trying to earn it.
Yes, I'm trying to earn it as well. It's a very interesting time. And I think the show has broken Chuck a little bit already.
Oh yeah.
Yes. But it is an edited show. It is pre-taped and everything. The lovely Will Crosby is helping us edit that. There's a lot of bells and whistles going on in the show, and I suggest you go check that out. I don't want to spoil anything more, but it will be a premium series. We're planning on releasing a new episode every 2 weeks. This first episode, though, will be free for everyone to get everyone a little taste. And also this Thursday.
Also go to the website for my review of Mario Tennis Fever. So
Yes.
might as well go there, read that, and then check out all the premium stuff.
Discord is about to break down anyway. Go hit up the forums while you're there. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our forums do not
Giantbomb.
require ID.
.com/join. Become a premium member and watch new shows like this one that's somehow related to the musical of Cats in a way I don't think I'm allowed to elaborate on any further. More things are planned at all times so that premium is the place to be me-um.
That's
Will,
right.
can you cut that?
Yeah, we'll cut that, please. Even though Sean edits the show. Hi, Sean. Also, this Thursday, housekeeping's almost out of the way, folks. Don't worry. This Thursday, we have Abby Russell on the dump truck to announce another thing. So Abby's going to announce a thing over there, another show. So that's all we'll say about that until we get to Thursday. So keep your peepers peeped, boys.
Wow, an Abby show. That's so exciting. I'm so excited. I'm going to go to giantbomb.com/premium and become a premium member. I was holding off so far, but boy, this new content promises to be a real slamboni.
Yeah,
Mike-
and I know you're not doing it on purpose, but you have a sarcastic tone in your voice when you said an Abby show. So exciting. I know that's not what you meant, but it's the way it sounded.
No,
Mike,
it's the best.
You're very good at pretending to read off a teleprompter poorly. I think it is an actual skill. Boris, anything else popping off? Anything else going on? What's happening? The Super Bowl was this past weekend.
Yeah, that
Oh,
sucked.
it was?
Yeah, it was a bad game. Jeez, thank God for cheese dip and Bad Bunny, I guess. 'cause-
That's
Yeah.
what I say.
I think Bad
Yeah.
Bunny reminded everyone you should get to the end zone and then spike the
Yes.
football.
Yeah,
Yeah, that helps. It turns out.
He was a good time. Yeah, that game was a bummer. I enjoyed eating food. Yeah, cheese dip. Sure, that's a good time.
God, so much cheese. I'm like, this is clearly bad for me, but God, it's just you put like some red stuff and meat into like cheese, and boy, is that just good. That's all I want to eat.
Now with the cheese dip, right? Are we starting from like a base that you're making yourself, or are we starting with like the jar cheese?
Believe it. My brother made this. This was his party. I think he started with a jar, but he did a lot of stuff to it. It's okay to start.
No,
I mean,
yeah, of course.
You're either starting with a jar, you're starting with Velveeta because you need it to be something like super melty, unless you're making a roux or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know exactly what his process was. I'll have to ask. It was very good cheese dip. I do kind of need to get the recipe.
I definitely moved my hips more than I intended to this past Sunday.
Oh yeah,
it was a good time.
I definitely did I started trying to do like the Bad Bunny like hip thrusting dance. I want to be inappropriate for television as well. Yeah, it was. It's a good time. It's catchy music. Been listening to it a lot more since then. I think I'm starting to pick up some Spanish. That's a lie. I don't know a single word.
English.
Yes. Yeah. Did you yell that at the TV?
I don't know. I was with like real people. They might not have understood that reference. Not that
Sure.
you guys are fake.
No, you know what, Mike?
We just exist in Mike's imagination.
That's actually a fear in the back of my head that I'm not real, that I'm just a figment of someone's imagination, but I don't know whose.
You're not a purple dragon, Jan. Don't worry about that.
Thank God. Hey, did y'all know Girl Scout cookies went up to $7?
Oh wow!
I guess I'm not surprised. If you would ask me how much they were, like, did the boxes get smaller too? I bet that also happened.
No, they're exactly.
I guess
the
I don't know
same.
what number I would have said. But the whole idea of Girl Scout cookies is for them to pay for being Girl Scouts, right? So it's like there's always gonna be that premium on top. the one I don't get is like
premium.
the $20.
Speaking of that, I think you should go to giantbomb.com/join to become a member of our premium. Our prices, unlike Girl Scout cookies, are not going up, but also your money will not benefit group activities for children.
Well, I mean, like Grub has
careful
kids.
saying that word around him.
Dib has kids, or not Dib. Dib is a kid of Backlash.
Dib is a child, yes.
We put in the contracts that they're not allowed to use any of that money on their children. Don't
Oh,
worry.
right.
Never. Are you kidding me?
I think I missed that meeting.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I have mostly no problem supporting the Girl Scouts, right? It's like, okay, here's $7. You know, we've done the math. But the thing is that I don't support is how fucking pushy these little children are. Because normally it'd be like, oh, sorry, kid, I don't have the cash. I don't have cash on me. You know, I the most I carry on me in terms of like single bills is maybe $4. Like I'll put it for like I don't know what I will use those $4 for. A vending machine, yeah, perfect. The laundry machine around the corner. So normally in the past it's been fine. I'll just walk by, whatever. Sorry, kid. Now these little children have started hounding me, saying like, mister, it's fine. We have Zelle. We have Venmo. Mm-hmm. You want PayPal? I'm like, Jesus Christ, I can't get away from them now.
I mean, it sounds to me like they're calling you out, right?
Yeah.
Like your excuse has run dry here.
Yeah, they know the game. They're in their players in that game. Now, all of that I can accept. The one I don't like is, and this is usually Boy Scouts selling popcorn at the grocery store, the place where I get popcorn. So it's always like, okay, I'm walking out there. Do I want to buy a $20 box of popcorn? I don't, but I will. Sure, I'll support Boy Scouts, whatever. But it's always like the dad pushing it. Actually, you could tell the kid is over there playing his Game Boy Color or whatever, and the dad is like, I'm gonna. Maybe it's probably not a Game Boy.
Probably
not a Game Boy Color. But the dad's like, I'm gonna be the #1 seller for the Boy Scouts. I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with any of this.
Sir, you're not in the Boy Scouts.
Yeah, right. But it's like, my son's going to be the best popcorn seller. Okay. When I was a kid in Boy Scouts, we didn't do any of that. We were in Michigan, so what we would do is go to door and collect people's cans and turn those in for 10 cents a piece. And we'd get a ton of money that way. And I was like, that was a good time, because people were like, yeah, come take my cans. We hate this.
Take my trash.
Yeah.
That's an honest living. There is, though, I don't want to spoil the news too soon. I don't want to do the show out of sequence here, but
sure,
there is a new flavor of Girl Scout cookies.
What is it?
Explore Mores.
Okay.
So, Rocky Road ice cream inspired.
Ooh, okay.
So we got a little chunky in there. It's a sandwich cookie, so it's like an Oreo. So there's 2 cookies and then like a cream in the middle. And it's like a marshmallow toasted almond creme, according to the box.
It's a lot.
It's a lot going on.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
It's a lot going on.
I still stuck with my regular Thin Mints because I'm a coward.
The best.
And I can't deviate past that. But
I think the problem with like the cookie situation, and it's a bad situation, everybody, is that like all the simple ones are done, right? We know like which cookies are like, here's one flavor, there you go. You kind of have to like throw a bunch of zhuzh in there to like be able to like, here's a new cookie. It can't just be like, we've invented chocolate cookies. Like, no, those exist.
I didn't think about cookie tech not advancing. I feel like other desserts have like gone through. Like there's so many different kinds of pancakes. A cookie is just a cookie, especially a Girl Scout cookie. You're limited in size. Anyway, God, I could go for a cookie. Y'all know cookies have fucking 1,000 calories.
Oh yeah, they're not good for you. So there, I mean, look, I don't want to be like, don't support the Girl Scouts, but maybe you don't need that box of cookies this year, everyone. I don't know.
You could buy the cookies and then give them away as presents. Like, there you go.
People will be excited. Give them a 20. Can I just go to your website?
Yeah,
and find,
just throw some money at a child. Leave me alone. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want. I can't eat a box of cookies on my own. What are you talking about?
No, here's the problem.
That's crazy.
I totally could if I wanted to.
Yeah, Thin Mints especially, yeah.
Oh God, just pop them. Y'all ever freeze a Thin Mint?
No, but that sounds good. Thin mints can't have that many calories. They're just toothpaste, basically. It's mint.
How many calories are in toothpaste? You don't know.
Yeah, I guess I've never eaten toothpaste. I always spit it out.
They don't have
Back in
to
the
put the
tube.
nutritional info on there.
Yes, a toothpaste, specifically Sensodyne, a fantastic source of fiber in your daily diet. Don't actually, no, don't,
All right,
don't do that.
4 Thin Mints have 161 calories.
Fuck!
I can live with that.
That's not terrible.
No.
That's like 1 can of regular Coke, which you also shouldn't drink ever in your life.
No.
They should never do that.
As I've started exploring the world of trying to be healthy and navigating that, it turns out a lot of my previous behavior not conducive to being healthy. But also, it is kind of insane seeing how much misinformation is out there, because you'll come up misinformation. Nice to
I heard
meet you.
misinformation also. I heard misinformation. I was like, spider chair.
Because you will just see dudes out there talking about, all you need is protein, bro. Just sit down, eat like a whole rotisserie a day, and you'll get the gains. And then I'm just thinking, like, you don't want any like fiber, and like, I know the food pyramid was kind of BS, but I'm pretty sure you should balance with some type of fruits or vegetables.
Yeah, you still need a balanced diet. The whole protein thing, like, of course, protein's good for you. It's getting out of control. Every shelf food now has a protein variant on it, so they can. I mean, Pop-Tarts has protein Pop-Tarts, so they can now act like Pop-Tarts are a fucking health food. It's a Pop-Tart.
Actually, we'd also like to announce today that the Bombcast is listening to it. You gain 20 grams of protein.
Yeah, only
per
for premium
hour.
users, though. Yeah,
We should do Giant Bomb with protein.
Yeah.
Well, Mikey, that's today's title, with protein.
Okay, we did. I mean, if you guys ever done the whole protein powder thing? Because I just, like, one time when I was going to gym a lot, I tried. I cannot do that stuff. It's too nasty for me. I felt like a piece of shit because everyone else seems to be able to handle it, and I'm a baby. It was disgusting.
I'll do some creatine and stuff like that. I've not done the protein powder too much, mostly because it's like whey protein, and I have to deal with all the lactose stuff now. So
right. It's lead and stuff. The thing I cannot do is pre-workout, which from my understanding, is just like supposed to get you going for a workout. So I think there's like a lot of caffeine in it.
You don't need that. You just drink your coffee and you'll be good.
Yeah. But gang, I will see people dry scooping this stuff. So they will just scoop it from the container and stuff it directly in their mouth. No water, and just like swish it around in there.
I think I prefer doing that than the weird, like, gross milkshake variant of it. I don't know. I also just don't like milkshakes. Maybe that's my problem. I don't like thick drinks. It's another weird mouth texture thing to me. It's gross.
Thick drinks could also be the episode title.
Thick drinks with protein. There we go. 2 birds, 1 seed.
On the health food side of things, I told you guys about my Diet Coke Instagram thing because of John Drake, right? It's still happening. It's like actually it's getting worse. I'm not liking any of them. I think I am like watching them long enough that the algorithm's like, you do like this. And it's mostly just me being like, what else can they possibly say about Diet Coke? Turns out a lot. These people have a lot to say about Diet Coke.
Yes.
It's a cult at this point.
Is it? I mean, are you getting only the pro Diet Coke ones, or are you getting some of the? This is gonna give you cancer.
It's all pro Diet Coke. If it's any sort of it gives you cancer, it's always a joke from someone who's pro Diet Coke. So,
okay.
Yeah.
When Lexi jokingly said John Drake drinks Coke Zero yesterday, I looked up from doing my work and was like, no. You were so wrong, Lexi.
Yeah,
can't say
that's my thing. I'm the Coke Zero guy. Come on.
Yep. That's right. He'll get upsetty biscotti if there's no Coke Zero on the premises. And we're not playing games. We're talking about it.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
I came to play. The price to pay. Get on your knees and say.
Oh. I had a lot of fun playing this last Friday, but apparently people did not enjoy us playing this.
Some people hated watching us play LORT so much they want to entirely rethink Unprofessional Friday.
And I'm just
that's fine.
And I'm going to say this.
Take your feedback.
I do listen to some feedback, most feedback if there's a technical problem, but I'm just going to say this here. I enjoy playing games with my friends at the end of the week to wind down.
Yeah, it's like sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. That's fine. I've been thinking about LORT. I definitely am at a point where it's like I want to play another game like that, and it probably is Night Rain. But I thought LORT was pretty all right.
Yeah, LORT was fine.
Yeah.
Mikey, you put on the rundown here. Is there anything specific you wanted to talk about with LORT?
I mean, just that. I liked how many people can be in your party. Like, we had 5, but it can go up to 8 even, right?
Mhm.
So that's fun. I mean, it just, the idea of a more chill variant of a Night Rain-like experience, I get that for sure. I think a lot of people, and this bothered me a little bit, that whole kind of even cheaper looking Fortnite aesthetic is far from my favorite, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a lot of barely shaded textures and kind of bright garish greens and whatnot.
And it's not even doing it with like a lot of panache, right? Because it's like there's the slimes in there, but they are far from a top tier video game slime. Like it's not like, oh, that's cute.
Right.
I'm like charmed by this the way I'm charmed by like a Toriyama slime. It's just sort of like it's not placeholder, but it doesn't feel like super far removed from placeholder. Now the game is early access, right? So
Right.
but I'm you can get the game now and you can play it now. I'm going to judge it kind of based on what I played.
Sure.
So, just looking at the game is not very, it doesn't fill me with joy.
Now, during UPF, we quickly found out, oh, this is just a Night Rain. The conversation I would like to bring up is Night Rain a Risk of Rain?
Yeah, I played a little bit of Risk of Rain 2 when it first came out, but I so little. I played it for a couple days, but I just don't remember a lot of the details. I just remember liking it.
I never played Risk of Rain. Explain to me what Risk of Rain is like.
So the original one is a 2D shooter. The second one is a 3D shooter. I think randomly instanced mobs, and your general goal is to get to a boss at the end of the level. So it's kind of like a survival shooter, kind of like a horde mode.
Right.
But then you're building up stats and upgrading your weapons as you go along.
So I'm looking at this now. This is kind of my problem with LORT. It's a little bit so video game to video game that part of me is like, maybe I did play this, and I actually just don't even remember.
Yeah, I think Risk of Rain 2 is definitely a roguelike, which these things are, where it's like you're getting randomized perks as you're playing and stuff like that. And I think that's maybe one of the key things here. Like, what else makes a game a Night Rain at this point? It's kind of building up to fight a boss after a certain amount of like timed gameplay. I'm not sure what else it would need. Does Risk of Rain 2 or Risk of Rain have that?
Yeah, I guess like it's if people are reminding me, it's more of a roguelike where like I guess Night Rain, you are building up those characters, right? Like you do retain some of those stats.
Yeah, so roguelite maybe or whatever, yeah.
Anyway, I just think it's interesting that on the indie side we're already getting games aping the Night Rain model, and then on the AAA side we're gonna get that Horizon game that apparently
Hunter's Gathering. Yeah, I was kind of like looking into that more for yesterday's Game Mess mornings and trying to be like, okay, we bring up these games on the news and they announce it, and I'm like, let me just go look and see what this is. And I saw run-based randomized perks. And you like are trying to, I'm like, oh yeah, this is also just a Night Rain. It's 3-player co-op and stuff like that. That one also trying to do a Fortnite-y style, but it's I don't know. I think it has a pretty strong look actually. But yeah, I think we're gonna get quite a few of these games. Everyone's sort of looking for that game that they can turn into someone's hobby, and LORT is probably going to be that for some people, and they have a potential to kind of grow into the direction that the audience wants it to grow into because it's selling very well, right? So
yeah,
it can at least like trade on that and hopefully turn into something even better. I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to LORT though.
No, probably not.
Yeah, when they reach 1.0, perhaps.
Maybe. I would like to, this just the other thing was just that first experience. The mage felt so much better to play than the other classes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe balance that some. Again, like I'm sure DPS wise, maybe numerically, it actually is balanced, but just in terms of what felt good and was fun, Mage seemed, I don't know, significantly better.
Yeah.
Yep.
Moving on, Grub, to a game that is finely tuned to keep people playing, because this is one of the only games that I have been playing. Folks, I'm sorry. I'm still playing Deadlock. I think this is the new jazz that I'm going to be occasionally bringing up. I kind of like how they're rolling out the characters because it is the player base voting on them of like, who do you want now?
Fun.
Last 2 weeks ago, last week, they released a werewolf lady, the very melee focused, and then they recently released a combat priest dude. I still find this game to be incredibly fun. I haven't had any frustrating moments, and again, I am primarily playing Street Brawl mode, and it's interesting how the games can swing back and forth. I think it's been a while since I've been in a competitive game. Street Brawl is like the ARAM one lane versus like the full MOBA.
Okay,
much more fast paced. Yeah. If it like with me. With MOBAs, like I like them, but I'm like, why these matches don't need to be 45 minutes long.
Yeah, I don't 45 minutes like them. I'm with you. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Greb, I think you'd specifically like this because instead of having a specific build you're going for, it is just randomized which items you can get. So it's kind of a roguelike there.
I do like that better. And this is popular with the audience. I guess this game has enough players where there's enough people to fill out any of these various modes.
Oh yeah. I figured out why potentially we were having a difficult time finding a match initially when Mike, Christian, and I were playing on an UPF. It wasn't just because we were a 3-stack. It's because of the specific characters that we queued up as. Because I didn't realize this, but you can ban characters even from the casual mode where it's like, I don't want to play against a dude like this, or a specific character, I should say.
Interesting.
And the characters all got a lot of character going on in them. I find myself deciding like, no, this is the person I'm going to main as now. But speaking about characters, Mike Minotti, you've been playing the character shooter, Overwatch.
Yeah, they made that big announcement. It's Overwatch again, no more.
That's today, right?
It's today, or it's incredibly soon. I don't know if there's.
It's either today or tomorrow. I'll look it up while you're talking.
Yeah. There's 5 new characters that are gonna release, and there's all this kind of story event stuff. It is today. Cool. So even just ahead of that, I was like, I miss Overwatch. Maybe this is a good excuse to get back to it, because I played a lot of Overwatch. Its first, especially maybe 4, 5, 6 years, tons of it, and then. It really was the Overwatch 2 thing that did sour me on it. Just the kind of, I don't know, the weird rebranding, the free-to-play slop being added to it, and then the promise of that co-op mode, and then canceling it just left a really bad taste in my mouth, I think, for a lot of people. Even the game itself just felt weird. Matches were becoming incredibly one-sided. The balance just felt really off. So I was curious to go back to it after all this time. Played with my brothers the first night, and I just had such a good time. It felt so, we're back, or Chewie, I'm home, all that crap, right? But, there's all these characters I haven't played much as, and I was actually just having a good time focusing on a couple of them.
Real quick, just what number of characters that you've never played as? Just general, can you ballpark that?
4, maybe 5.
That's quite a bit for someone who's played as much as you.
Right. Some of them, they put Maui from Moana in the game now, and he has 2 guns.
What?
Yeah, I was playing as Freya, who is a DPS character who has a kind of crossbow bolt, and she kind of has she has an upwards dash, and then other more forward dashes, so she can basically kind of fly, and if she looks down her sights, she freezes. So kind of like an interesting twist on a sniper. Character, and I've been playing as her a lot. And Juno was added a bit ago, and I played her a little bit when she came out, but she's the healer who, again, has that 80s sci-fi anime aesthetic that I really, 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 really like. And she's just a ton of fun because she has basically a space pistol that can heal or damage other players. There's even this, at some point they added a perk system, which I thought I wouldn't like, but basically at 2 different points during a match, you could choose between one of 2 perks that do a little bit something. For Juno, the one was I kind of have a kind of floating ability, right? And if I activate that, then my burst fire, if someone becomes just a stream of fire, so I can really sort of focus down on people if I want to for a little bit there. But yeah, like, even after that, I've just actually been playing comp matches for fun again, just doing a couple of those every day. And the game has been feeling really good. There's still like frustrating matches where, I'm on a team and there's like a Genji when we're playing defense, and it's not to disparage gold rank Genjis, but usually they don't do very much. They just don't. And it's like,
they do ask for healing.
They ask for healing. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Right. And, I'm just constantly doing the thing where I'm pushing tab and seeing that I'm doing more damage as a healer than as the Genji, and I get grumpy. Sometimes, then it swings the other way, right? Like there was a match we were losing, and then somebody on their team just left, so we won. Right? That stuff does happen. But generally, the matches have been feeling competitive and fun, and it's not too bad. There's also a ban system in this game, too, now in comp. So, if there's a character that I hate and don't want to play as, I can ban them. I even realized I could ban Genji just so I can make sure there's not one on my team. Actually, I could do that if I want to.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I've been really enjoying it. I'm curious about the new characters. I had like one of them as a test. It's the fire one, the one that everybody got really upset because her face looked sort of copy-pasted from other heroes, and she looked too young. So they actually came out and said, okay, we'll fix that eventually here. We're going to get on that. But her skill set seemed fun. There's Jetpack Cat, which people are already worried is going to break the game because I think she can just sort of like move any character with a tractor beam. So we can maybe like get characters that usually don't have very good mobility and get them behind the enemy lines so they can mess stuff up. Who knows how that's actually going to play out? But it's an actual cat just on a sort of jetpack. So
cool.
That's fun. But yeah, Overwatch, it seems like a lot of people are energized and excited about the game again right now. I'm very curious about this content drop that's happening. So yeah, having a really good time with it.
2 questions. Is the Jetpack Cat's name Jetpack Cat?
I believe that is its name. Yes, absolutely. It's just in the hero select thing, I think it's Jetpack Cat.
And have you checked how many hours you've played Overwatch? Like, do you have an idea? I think you have to do it in game. So
yeah, I can do that real quick right now. It's a lot. It's
definitely career profile. You can find it there. Yeah.
Yeah. Like again, especially early on. I remember when the game was in its first open beta, and I was actually house sitting for my brother, and my other friend was in the beta. And my brother had a like pretty new computer at the time, and we just played that open beta literally all day, and had like the most amazing time. It felt so freaking good.
Hell yeah.
God, I love
I'm wondering, I probably played for over 100 hours, probably, which isn't a ton, but I don't know. I'm going to check here when I get a second as well.
786 hours.
Ooh. Yeah, okay. That's the real deal stuff, yeah. Any sort of multiplayer shoot over 500 hours, it's like, oh yeah, you played that like a hobby for a very long time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I am all for Overwatch kind of trying to reclaim its crown, because that will hopefully move the needle for all these other character shooters and force them to like, all right, well, we got to be interesting. We can't just rely on thick thighs anymore. Looking at you, Marvel Rivals. Not that there's anything wrong with the game, but.
Although Overwatch's thing right now is they are going to make their characters more attractive. So thick thighs are probably still very much on the table.
They're still very much like, here's some more hot people. Please buy their skins.
Are there skins in Overwatch? I forget.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a big skin economy, especially because at first the monetization was loot boxes, so you hope you get the skins. Now it's very battle pass, and there's just an individual store to buy the stuff because it's free to play, right? That still hasn't changed from when it went to 2 and now isn't 2. So, yep, skins is the name of the monetization game for Overwatch still, which again, like, it's just cosmetic stuff, right? It is very Fortnite-y now, so you don't need to do that stuff, and frankly, I don't feel a giant call to it anymore. I thought it was fun when I would surprise get them in loot boxes, and there's kind of a loot box system still, so that can happen. But yeah, it's a whole thing. I still don't really love it. I don't love like the battle pass and Overwatch. I don't know. It just feels weird.
Sure. Well, it seems like games like Deadlock, Marvel Rivals, Overwatch are racing to see who can claim the crown, just like Jeff Grubb has been racing in 4PGP.
Yeah, this is I am playing it on Switch 2. It is a virtual racer inspired game. I played it a bunch over the last couple of weeks. The embargo went up last week, but not before the Bombcast, so I couldn't talk about it then. It's a a really well done one of these arcade racers, and it's trying to capture the spirit of specifically Virtua Racer, which is one I played quite a bit of, and I always enjoyed seeing it. Like whenever I got a chance to play it, I enjoyed it quite a bit. And this is one where it's like I don't have such an affinity for Virtua Racer, or at least I didn't play so much of it that it's like it's got to feel a certain way. That said, this feels a certain way. It's like, oh, you have a lot of control in these turns. Like and if you want to have a faster car, you can have one that doesn't corner quite as well, but it still corners pretty good. And I like the way it's set up, where it's just about like finding the right path through the courses, and there's not a lot of rubber banding. Instead, it's like, no, you have to actually get good at the course. And you have to like use these less powerful vehicles that you have, because the ones that are beating you are the ones you're going to get to unlock. And those are just straight up better than the car you have. And that's like not the way racing games really work anymore. Everything's kind of evened out, and you can like upgrade your car, but then everything else upgrades along with you, like in Forza Horizon or something like that. Here, it's just like, no, once I get this better car, I could go back to that same race and then just crush it. Now, I've also, though, unlocked a more difficult race with faster cars. And that's going to feel even more thrilling. I really like, though, as you get to higher difficulty levels, you can play the same race on a higher difficulty level. One of the main things that makes it more difficult is it's like Mario Kart. This is 50cc versus 100cc versus 150cc. It just goes faster. And the sense of speed in this game is really well done. Nice. It's like it feels very fast, and it's got that nice flat shaded virtual racing style. And yet something about it still feels like, oh, everything moving past me is kind of moving at a blistering pace. And I'm pretty happy with this. I always go into these games. I talk about it on the show all the time with the expectation that's like, yeah, it's going to be an homage to those games that I liked, but it's not going to really capture the spirit. And that's been true like up until recently. Like that Escape from Ever After game, I think does a great job of capturing the spirit of the Thousand Year Door.
Yeah.
This does kind of exactly what I would want from a game trying to capture the spirit of Virtua Racer.
Nice.
I played a little bit of it too, Jeff, and I definitely love the aesthetic. Right? Again, I'm a especially 90s Sega. That was very much my jam. I had
you played the 32X game.
I had it for the 32X.
Yeah, that
baby.
rules.
It was good times. But yeah, like the racing just does feel good, and I like the whole, it's not rubber banding, it's not kind of doing a lot of background tricks to sort of, make sure you're probably going to get first place, make you feel like you did something really good here. Right. There's a progression system, and I'm completely fine with engaging with that.
Yeah, it also has a game share over game chat. So
cool.
It seems like, the reason like 4P is right there in the title is like, play this 4-player with your friends. They don't need the game. You could just share it with them online, and you can all be in game chat together and racing. I still want to try to do that at some point with y'all, so maybe we'll make that happen soon.
Yeah, let's hit the track. We could also potentially hit the track in this other racing game you have listed here, Jeff Grubb. Super Woden? Rally Edge.
Well, I don't know how to say it either. I think it's Super Woden. I'm sure someone in chat can help us figure this out, because it's probably a reference to some racing thing. Super Woden.
Whoa.
It's a rally game. It looks kind of like Sega Rally Championship, but sort of not quite isometric, but the camera's pretty pulled out. You have like almost a top-down view. It's a 3/4 view behind the vehicle. And it feels really good. It has a really good sort of relationship between the vehicle and the ground, and how the tires slide around, and you kind of have to sort of tap the brakes, and then there's obviously the handbrake, and you do that on the very hard turns to try to slide through them. And it's one of those games where it just makes sense once you start doing that. You kind of grok it immediately what it takes to take these heavy vehicles through a turn in a way where you're preserving as much momentum as possible, which is what I think Sega Rally Championship did better than any other of the racing games at that time. It's what I found so appealing about it. So this game, capturing that, kind of got it off to a good start with me right away.
Nice.
And then it also has a pretty good progression system where you're tuning up the car, you're buying parts, you're buying new cars, you're buying and selling cars, you're earning cars from winning championships and stuff like that. But it's not so complicated that I feel overwhelmed. So the way it works is you buy the first vehicle, and you're probably going to have a hard time winning that first race. It's not impossible. Maybe once you learn the track, you're going to do all right. You earn some money. And then you can buy all the parts, but the parts are basically just like checklists. Buy this part, and if you buy that part, your car is going to be better. It's that simple. So I bought a better engine, and now I got a check mark there. The engine's better, more horsepower. We're good to go. There are there's a little bit more to it where if you buy the anti-lock braking system, it's going to make your car behave different when it goes through the turns, which is nice. But it feels really good to improve your car because it does the thing that I love in a game like this, or really any kind of game, where the progression system kind of hides the fact that the real reason you're getting better at the game isn't because your car is better. It's because you are learning the tracks. And in a rally game, that's pretty huge. There's a reason that a lot of rally games have a limited number of courses. It's because you are supposed to kind of learn the turns, even though there is that person in your ear saying long, medium, right turn coming up. That's helpful. But really, once you kind of know what to expect, that makes the biggest difference. And so it's this back and forth of I'm learning the course. And now that I've learned the course, I have more money, so I can improve my car. And now that I have a better car, I can have improved placement and make more money. And now I can buy more parts. And you kind of go back and forth. And I've been enjoying it quite a bit. It's like, oh man, a lot of these indie arcade style racers are dialing it in and finding kind of what they're good at and focusing on that and leaving everything else behind. And so between this and 4PGP, I'm very happy with the state of arcade racers.
And that's a genre that indie has completely taken over, right?
Yeah. Subsumed. Yes.
Yeah. None of the big boys are even bothering with it anymore. It's a shame because it's super fun. There's been a lot of these that have been good. There's that
parking lot one.
The parking garage one that I liked a ton, actually. Had a really good soundtrack, too.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Jeff, I really liked it when you said learn the turns. I think they should put that in the print magazine for this game.
Turns.
Learn
Yeah.
the turns.
Learn the turns. Are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
There's a map up there, idiot.
Gosh, it's good. It's good.
Well, lovely, Grub. I'm glad to see. I also like the look of this game as well as 4PGP.
Yeah. Again, they know what they're going for, and they're kind of nailing it kind of across the board with all of their choices making these games. You kind of want the rally game to gesture towards a Sega Rally Championship, and it does. A huge part of that is rally cars just look that way. So whenever they're putting those cars in the game, it's like, oh, I remember that from that previous video game. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who are into rally racing that see the cars and oh, yeah, that's the car I've been watching my whole life or whatever. So, yeah, just a strong look, and they do a good job of capturing it.
Speaking about a strong look and capturing it, the game I've been playing, which I believe we can talk about, is Romeo is a Dead Man.
Yeah, I think reviews started going live, yeah.
This is a Suda51 Jimmy Jam. Gang, let me tell you, I have so much conflict right now because
there's two wolves inside you.
There's two wolves inside of me, and then a potential third wolf, and what's his deal?
That's just Suda. He's just there.
That's just Suda. So I've always been a big fan of Suda51, but I've never actually played any of the No More Heroes games. Just didn't have a Wii at the time, and then whenever it re-released, just too busy playing other games. This has so much fucking swagger and style. It's just dripping in it. I feel and I have seen a lot of No More Heroes through osmosis, just watching gameplay videos, trailers, etc. This is probably, I want to say, Suda's maybe apex mountain in terms of nailing a visual style and a specific tone to a game in anything that I've engaged with or even consumed on the sidelines from his work. The visual trappings of this absolutely batshit insane because he's obviously inspired by 80s anime aesthetics and everything. There are those break screens in between just the normal scenes, and then a lot of the cinematics are told kind of through a manga or a comic book style format. And the overall tone of the voice acting is kind of very, I think, on purpose cheesy, kind of how, and I say this parentheses positive, of course, but kind of how Mike reads his fake teleprompter, where there is definitely some camp to it. Kind of reminds me of
no, it's completely sincere when I tell you that you need to stop messing around. It's time to take things to the next level and go to giantbomb.com
Next
/join.
level?
Become a premium member. You will be leveled up to the max.
Learn the turn.
Learn the turn.
Learn the turn.
All of that praise being said, I think this game is visually striking, very strong. I may be about a couple hours in, maybe 3, 4-ish, and the light messaging that they're providing, or that I've been able to glean so far, has been very positive. Kind of just embracing the clutter or how gross everything is, and I feel like this is Suda just throwing everything at the wall, and everything is sticking in terms of like style and visuals. The part where I am kind of conflicted here is that, at least in the early goings of the game, the gameplay itself a little light in terms of the combat, where the combat is just your basic light attack, heavy attack. You have a dodge, you have a gun button, and you can shoot from there. And it's a little difficult because, Dan, for the last couple of weeks, has been recounting his joys in playing Sekiro, and there's so many other Souls games out there. This is not a Souls game, but character action games that have come out since, like a No More Heroes, where they're a little bit more involved. And again, I'm still fairly early, so there can be more potential things that unlock. You as you progress through the story, you unlock these pins, and these pins ultimately affect the gameplay. So you start with like a dash to get out of the way, and then that quickly becomes a dodge roll if you press circle or B twice. So it remains to be seen how the gameplay could just get potentially deeper. But I think this is one of those games where the visual stylings and the oddball story. So you were this guy named Romeo, and this white devil attacks you, and we're just going to leave it at that. And your grandpa from the future comes back to save you, and then stabs you in the eyeball with this thing. So now you are this half robot cyborg dude that is codenamed Dead Man, and that's just sick as hell.
Jeff, I think you're a Suda skeptic like I am. Do you think you want to try this one?
I listen, I think Suda is a cool dude, and he does have a lot of style, and I want to like his games. I've never really enjoyed a No More Heroes. Have I given him a real college try? I did the No More Heroes 3 at least, which is the one people seem to like the most. I don't know. I've sort of been like waiting on the sideline, waiting kind of for this episode of the podcast to hear Jan talk about it. And I don't know. The reviews have me curious, but it also sounds very familiar for a Suda game, right? Where, hey, if you go in there and you love his bullshit, that's there. And is that enough to sort of bridge the gap from all the other aspects that are maybe, I don't want to say mediocre, but less than what you would want from some other games? And maybe it's not as important here because the style is the star attraction. I don't know. It's always kind of I need to see it and feel it for myself. And usually I come out the other side of a Suda game going like, I get it. I'm going to go play something else.
Yeah, I think that's why I've never been fully compelled to just go explore any of the No More Heroes games, because ultimately I will see the sentiment of like, this is a 6.5, this is a 7 out of 10 style game, like a B+ or a B game. So haven't felt too compelled, but playing the little bits so far of Romeo is a Dead Man just has me intrigued. And I hate this is going to sound reductive, and this is like the number one thing writers will say, but like there's a Lynchian tone to this that I can't quite put my finger on because of how batshit insane it must be in Suda51's brain. The title sequence to this, after you get through the opening tutorial bits, honest to God, gorgeous. I want to see Suda fully commit to just making a movie or a series, because this definitely encapsulates like a lot of popular anime stylings and a lot of popular media across the board into this package. That being said, I think I will stick with it. Also, Lexi points this out in the chat, but you grow bastards in this game. So you get seeds.
I mean, who doesn't? I got 2 of them. Come on.
You get seeds of these bastards, and they're kind of like your pawns, where they'll assist you, and then you can get different kinds.
Do you mean
of
like
zombies.
children out of wedlock? What do you mean bastards?
No, zombies that you grow, that your sister helps you grow on a spaceship.
Sister.
Yeah, your sister.
Well, then hopefully they're bastards.
No. You're not making them with your sister. Your sister just shows you how to grow them.
True.
And also, I thought I don't know if I did something wrong in the beginning, but in the tutorial, I just died to the white devil. The white devil killed me. And I can't keep saying this.
Title.
Oh, killed me.
Huh. Oh, okay. Anyway,
come help me, stepsister, before the white devil kills me.
Oops. Shit. I failed that tutorial bit, and I thought like, oh, they're just gonna reset me, and then maybe I just have to like learn how to dodge and everything. But the game kept going, and then I don't know if I messed up, but then my grandpa died. And then my grandpa.
I didn't follow most of that, but the more you talk, the more I do want to check it out. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I also like should just go back and try Killer 7 again though, and like Shadows of the Damned, which I think I did like pretty all right. That one was pretty good. Yeah, I don't know. This one seems like it's falling more on the side of it is, accessible, like a little bit easier to get into than some Suda games. Is that fair?
I think so. If you are not one for complicated menus or a lot of visual stylings and wrappings on virtually every part of the game, this may not be for you. Like, for instance, the way to upgrade your character, your Romeo, is you have to do this Pac-Man style mini game where you have a limited amount of fuel, and as your little Romeo avatar in a Pac-Man style map, you expend that fuel, and you're supposed to get like little pips of power-ups. So you're getting a sword for melee damage, a heart for more health, and that is how your upgrades are determined there. Flosion? What does the word flosion mean?
Flosion. I guess
it's
like
a water explosion is what it sounds like. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of that word in this game, but I do want to mention 2 things, and then we'll move on. I really do like this game. I want to put together a quick look of it so folks can see the visual insanity that matches up to everything I'm saying. Shouts out to Jamiroquai. Yeah, Chuck, think about Jamiroquai.
Come on, Chuck. Cut that, Will.
Cut that, Will.
Keep it in, Will. Don't listen to them.
Your grandpa, after he dies, is now transformed into a Mimir-style sidekick, except he is on the back of your jacket. And he is just like a felt-embroidered character talking
this sounds
to Romeo.
Very Suda. Yeah.
Yep. And then, of course, one of your main antagonists in this game is Juliet, your loved one.
Right.
And you have to navigate. Well, this is how the game sets it up, but you have to navigate through different timelines and everything and take out different variants of Juliet. But this one that you meet in this timeline specifically is special. So there may be more things going on between Romeo and Juliet. The game is weird. I really like it. It's speaking to me, and hopefully it's enough to pull me through the fairly light combat that I have so far in front of me.
I wish anyone loved me the way Japanese developers love David Lynch. I think that would be very nice. I also is the blood very like goopy, like a B movie, like kind of like goopy's got to be the word. I like that, where it's just like a developer that likes a certain set of things, and Suda obviously loves kind of B movies and wrestling and Lynch, and he's like, I'm just gonna make a game like those things, and it's very obvious within a couple of seconds of looking at it. It's like, oh, those are the influences, And I think people appreciate that, which is why I think Suda's had such a long career of people being like, I show up for his games. It's not been me yet, but like I said, I'm a little bit jealous of people who are into them, and I kind of need to just jump in at some point.
I think he's also wearing all of the influences on his sleeve unabashedly, because the title cards for each chapter so far kind of remind me of Death Stranding, because it's like some goopy ink stuff that is beneath a flower, and then it's like a one-word title, because like the second chapter after the tutorial is hubris.
Of course.
So it's great. I'm seeing folks recommend to me specifically The Silver Case, which is an earlier suited Jimmy Jam.
Yeah, that's also on Steam.
May check that out.
In 2016.
2016. All right. Let's see. Moving along here, Mike Minotti, you've continued your adventure through Spyro Reignited Trilogy.
Yeah, just I finished Spyro 2 in there, which again, I just was like, I need a little kind of light something to kind of break up some of these big RPGs and action games I've been playing. I played through the first one back when the Reignited Trilogy came out, but I've never played through a version of 2. So finally did that. And boy, that was just a very nice, cozy time. I think the Spyro games control really well. I like the world design. It's like mostly linear, but kind of open zones, right? I think it's a pretty good mix of those things. And it's not like Mario 64 where you have these rather large levels, but there's a lot of levels of a kind of smaller size that still feel pretty good to run around in. I also really do like the look of the Reignited Trilogy. I think they did a really good job updating those games. Yeah. So yeah, it's like, it still has that PS1 charm in a lot of ways, even though it doesn't look like that anymore. There's still that essence in there for sure. Just like the way the game feels is very of that in positive ways.
Yeah, I think I like the look of the Spyro Reignited Trilogy more than I like the look of the Crash Insane Trilogy like upgrades or whatever that came around the same time.
Sure. You're more of a dragon man anyway.
That's right. That's what they say about me. I am the dragon. I agree, Mike, that the games feel like those games still, and that's a really good thing, because Spyro always felt pretty good. It was the best feeling PlayStation 3D platformer as far of any of the ones I played anyhow.
Yeah. So y'all are specifically talking about the PlayStation when you say that, right? Not like the PS2?
I mean,
well, the PS2 Spyro games are mostly not very good. I think. What do you mean?
Like in terms of platformers, because for me, like PS2 platformers, I think of Ratchet and Clank, Jack.
We
mean
PS1.
PS2 had a lot of good platformers.
Yes. Really good ones.
Yeah, Jack 1's fantastic. I love all the Ratchet and Clank.
That's a whole different, just a different era. Yeah,
PS2 was better than PS1. You have Spyro, you have Crash, and is Ape Escape a 3D platformer. You have Croc, right? Which I like the Crash games a lot, actually, still. Sure. But I get, I get why some people find them abrasive. But this was a really good time. They should make a new one.
Y'all ever play any of the Sly Coopers? Because I feel like I'm the only one that ever brings up Sly Cooper.
It's on my to-do list this year.
Same. It's one of those ones where it's like I've always thought about, like, we should just play through the Sly Cooper games on the site, so I have a good reason to do so. When would we have the time? Of course, never. But I would love to do that. I played a little bit of one of them starting up and being like, oh, this is very good, and I would like to play through all of these.
Yeah, it's where I learned about stealth as a child and how to hide in the shadows.
Yeah.
Speaking about shadows and other stealthy things that thieves do, thieves also lie a lot, just like Mike Minotti has been checking out Lies of P.
Yeah, it's funny. I knew I played this game back when it came out. In my mind, I only played a little bit of it. Although after like 7 hours, I only just now caught up to where I was, apparently. So I played more of it than I thought. But that was back when I hadn't played a ton of Souls-like, and I still found the genre very, very challenging instead of just pretty challenging right now. But, I played through all of the actual From Software ones recently, and I'm still kind of like, this is a problem. I kind of want to play more of those kind of games. It's like, okay, I'll go back to Lies of P now with what I know, realizing that as much as I like the idea of using very big, giant, cumbersome weapons, it might actually be better to use a faster, more dexterity-based build. So yeah, I jumped in here, and boy, I'm actually having a really good time with this. and I see now how it's an amalgamation of basically all the other From Software games.
Yeah.
Because you have the parrying from Sekiro, which
Yep.
I love the Sekiro parrying, so that's a big thing for me. The kind of world design is Bloodborne-esque or Dark Souls 1, and then you also have the if you get hit while blocking, you can get that health back if you attack them thing from Bloodborne. In tons of Dark Souls mechanics in there as well. So yeah, it's got a good mix of these things, kind of pulling and picking some of the best stuff out. But then I like the aesthetic difference. I like that it's doing the weird kind of Pinocchio Italian steampunk thing. It's a very pretty game.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot. It was specifically when one of like the first big enemies that you face that is like a normalish dude is like a donkey-headed guy, and then you can take the donkey head and then wear it for a bit. It's cool.
There's some bosses that they're pretty tough. They're gonna maybe take me 10 tries, but even then, this game is pretty generous with things like the bonfire is not that far from the boss fight. There hasn't been any really long run backs or anything like that, so I'm getting back into those bosses pretty quickly, and I like that process a lot of learning the boss. It's gonna take a few tries. Maybe if I use this one ability instead of this one, I might have a slight more advantage, things like that, because you have like the different Legion arms, so that's sort of your special attack. Or you're gonna do the flamethrower or little electrical burst or the puppet string, so you have the get over here scorpion kind of gimmick, which is fun. Always feels good.
I really loved using that puppet string Legion arm attachment just for that to close the gap. Mike, I'm curious. For me personally, I really liked Lies of P, but I kind of wish it stuck to the automaton puppet aesthetic, or like the enemies all the way through versus where the story or the different enemies that you face wind up going. Because, again, it becomes very goopy and it becomes very zombie-ish in the middle of the game.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of in the zombies part right now, and it's definitely not as strong as that first area where you're in the city and you have the puppets. And the puppets look really cool, just the way they move around. It's kind of unsettling. Yeah, and that part is definitely more visually striking than honestly, everything looks a bit more just Bloodborne or even Dark Souls 1 Village-y right now. There's kind of a lot of that vibe happening, and it doesn't look bad, but yeah, it's not quite as striking or interesting as. There's a giant puppet that looks like a, old-timey police officer, right? That's a pretty memorable, cool-looking boss.
I'm excited to hear, Mike, when you eventually get to I forget what the boss is called, but he's like a king puppet guy. Very fun fight. Very fun fight.
Cool.
Good boss fights across the board.
Geppetto.
Yeah, I've been having it could be. It is kind of funny being like, oh, this is supposed to be the Blue Fairy. Oh, Gemini is like Jiminy Cricket.
Jiminy.
Oh, it's like, is this item I'm picking up? It's like, oh, it's like a wishing star thing. Okay, and I'm excited to see what the like Pleasure Island lake's gonna be. And I better fight a fucking whale in this game.
Do you ever turn into a donkey?
Well, you can put a donkey head on.
Yeah, you fight a guy who has a weird donkey head on, right? So yeah.
Okay.
I really want. I should check out that DLC that they put out.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that as well. And then I know I think everyone already kind of knows like they've teased the Wizard of Oz-esque sequel, and I hope that's something we see soon.
I really hope it is. That was a fun stinger as far as stingers at the end of a game goes.
Was the DLC the latest thing that they've announced, or is there a Lies of P2 announced? I can't remember.
They haven't announced Lies of P2, but there's just like the stinger at the end of the game is
that I remember. Yes, that's teasing Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Moving along to another game, Mike, that you've played and I've also checked out, and there's a quick look up on the website with the developers. This game has been blowing up, gang. I think maybe the best reviewed game of 2026 so far. I'm talking about.
It is, and I have it in Fantasy Critic.
Shut up, Grub. Mewgenics. Mikey, you check this out with the devs and with Dan. Dan had like how many hours into this game?
He was like
in like a week. He had like 30.
Yeah, he was pretty far in, and they were like, "Yeah, you've barely touched it." Actually, it turns out like this. I know a lot of people are like that with Binding of Isaac, right?
Yeah,
the previous Big Melon game, and people play that game for hundreds and hundreds of hours. And this game is very much set up to be somewhere saying this could be your big time sink game. It's a game.
Oh my god, it's got 55,000 players on Steam right now. Oh
Hell
my god.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's great.
Well, this game has actually been in development forever and has been.
It got canceled once. Yeah, and then they brought it back.
It got restarted. Right, like at one point it was actually like straight up Team Meat working on it, and then Emmett McMillan left Team Meat and started doing this with Tyler Glale instead. And it feels like a game that has been pretty finely crafted, to be honest. So this is a run-based tactics game, kind of like
Into the Breach.
Into the Breach. The whole thing here is that you have these cats, and the cats have different abilities, and sort of in between runs, you can breed the cats. You can sort of pass on abilities. Like once a cat completes a run, they can't go on another.
They're retired.
They're retired.
Right.
Yeah.
They're retired. So you can still use them for things like breeding, or there's going to be shops or other characters who are like, I'll upgrade my shop if you give me 10 cats that have been on an adventure, if you give me 10 cats that are just kittens, right? So before they even have a chance to grow.
It's called currency instead of currency.
There you go.
Right? You're welcome.
Bravo.
There you
Bravo.
go.
Uh-huh.
So you have these cats, and you kind of can assign them different classes. Even at the start of the thing, you can unlock more of them, and some, it's like cleric, necromancer,
Ranger,
the D&D
warrior,
classics. And then through that, when they level up and just kind of going through the roguelike map, you can unlock different abilities and just tons of abilities where you can just kind of chance into very strange builds in this game. Like, you're going to be constantly seeing stuff you have not seen before. And that's sort of twofold, because there's just the mechanics and the abilities, but also just like the areas you're going. Because you start off, you're just kind of in the streets, and then, you beat that the first time. Well, next time you can go to the sewers, and now next time you can go to this place, and then this place, and there's just so much stuff. The just amount of content for a game that is, a cat breeding tactics game is pretty wild.
Yeah, it's I'm a tactics freak out there. I love tiles. This has been heavily documented on this website. Happy to report 10 out of 10 tiles. The tactics, absolutely fantastic. I've had to specifically put distance away from myself in this game because I know that this would be the only thing I would play versus checking out anything new, and I realize I've fallen into a deadlock hole, so counterproductive.
You don't need two of those at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly. But I'm not the biggest fan of how Binding of Isaac looked. It was a little too gross for me, but it is a very similar art style here with Mewgenics.
There's less like fecal matter in this one. A little bit less.
There's poop. Less for sure.
There's still a lot. The Binding of Isaac is very poop focused, I guess.
Yes. This is less poop focused for sure.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't mind that stuff. I don't know if it's the growing up on Ren and Stimpy part of me, or growing up with Flash games and
it's that for sure.
But that's the best thing about this game, is that it feels also like it is such a love letter to a very hyper-specific time on the internet, because of how much it just reminds me of Flash animation and Newgrounds. And I miss that internet, because not that it was not problematic in certain aspects, but what an innocent time, gang.
Right.
I'll say Dan mentioned a run. I think it was him that. I
think it was Bonk, actually.
It was Bonk, you're right, where she had a cat that got an upgrade where if they had 1 HP, when they only have 1 HP, but they have a bunch of abilities, but it combined with one where it's like, if you have 1 HP, you're basically unhittable. So I had this like god cat that had all of these excellent abilities and could not die. And it's like, that's the kind of game that they've made here, where it's very roguelike, so that they can have these broken builds. And then that cat retires afterwards, so the balance isn't a problem. It's like one run, and then you have that awesome story you could tell about that cat where they did that one thing that one time, and that's the kind of game they made. And then one thing I don't get is, like Dan kept saying, like more and more stuff kind of keeps unveiling itself as you go. And I'm like, okay, so does it turn into something different than Into the Breach? Like, what are some of these things?
From my understanding, it is like those, part of it is some of those different classes that Mike was talking about, because you have 4 at the very start. And then I'm assuming they're just going to be different abilities, perhaps different biomes.
Yeah, but even, towards the end of the Quick Look EX, like there was this thing that I haven't seen yet where like his cat house, which is usually your safe haven, was invaded, right? So like a bad guy showed up there, so they got to kind of defend against that. And then they could use, I think you even could use retired cats for that thing specifically,
Huh.
right? So yeah,
Okay, wow.
there's weird stuff that eventually can happen. And it's fun with the broken cast, but even when like things are kind of normal, just the basic tactics of it
It's good.
feel pretty good. It's like,
Yeah.
okay, and there's a lot of interacting stuff with the environment. Like, oh, if you hit an enemy and they hit a tire behind them, they're going to bounce off that tire, then come back and smack you. You know, you can lay down fire, and fire is going to kind of impact certain things different ways. A little bit like Breath of the Wild chemistry stuff, not quite as robust
Sure.
as that, but a little bit.
This is also one of those tactics games where you can completely bone yourself in 2 turns because you accidentally hit yourself and you wind up putting one of your kitties in a bad position that absolutely gets mobbed by enemies. So that is great. I love when there's that interactivity, so much so that you can just bone yourself as a player because you didn't think something could happen.
Right, and that's probably there because there is probably some ability later in the game where it's like if you attack your own cat, something happens or something like that. Like they are probably accounting for every possibility so they don't limit your ability to interact with anything.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Into the Breach fan. I started this game and I was just like, I think I'd rather be playing Into the Breach, and I think it is mostly the visual style. I think also I like the Into the Breach being like, here, it's 5 turns, just survive 5 turns and get on the other side of that. And it's like here I'm like, okay, visually I get everything, but it's not as appealing to look at, and so I'm not as into like the metaphor of okay, the cat's moved here, so I'm imagining like I do Into the Breach, a big mech lumbering across the playfield, like next to a building and punching a giant insectoid into another building and knocking it down.
Yeah.
And it's like I sort of fill in the gaps myself with that game. Here, it's just like I find it unappealing and I'm not engaging with it on that level. I think I probably need to just get over that and keep trying because I bet I'll fall in love with this game if I give it a real chance.
I think the more different types of character or different cats and skills you unlock, Grub, can like help flesh out that experience of like making the tactics a little bit more satisfying, because the opening cats that you get, it's just like very limited in terms of abilities and what they're able to do. Quickly, the more runs you get through, you start to synergize with the different cats, and then it becomes that roguelike of like, okay, I'm kind of gunning for this style of a build, and then oh shoot, now that has been thrown out the window, and then I have this different super broken build at my disposal instead.
And then like the whole cap ring thing is, there's a lot of complexity there, and you can really learn that system and get into it. You can kind of be haphazard about it too and sort of make do as well. But, you know, you can really set things up because your house has different sections. So you'd be like, okay, if I kind of only put these cats here, then hopefully, you know, this one has this dominant gene, this one has this, and I can kind of maybe have a better idea of what sort of super cat I'm going to make from this pair, stuff like that.
Okay.
There is humping in the game, folks.
There's humping. You turn it off. It's funny when you turn it off because then like what they do is weird. But yeah, you don't just see straight up humping too often in these kinds of games.
Yeah. So very brave of the team.
That's how the breeding happens.
They're heroes.
They're heroes.
Hump heroes. Yeah.
Hump heroes. I could see a couple people describing some of the cats as sickly, perhaps infected.
Yeah.
Maybe they have a fever, just like Jeff Grubb has for Mario Tennis Fever.
Yeah, the embargo for this one up this morning. Can talk about it. There's a review on the website. I gave it a 3 out of 5 because 3 out of 5 means I like it. And the reason I like it is because the tennis is good, and that's the reason I show up to these games. Playing the tennis, I played online, some with Dan, with some people from Nintendo. And all of that was very fun. I can imagine myself playing quite a bit more that way. And I'll even enjoy like playing just the tennis on my own single player because, again, it's really well done. It's been really well done since Mario Tennis on N64. Did the Virtual Boy one actually predate that? It did, didn't it?
That's the first one.
Yeah,
the first Mario Tennis game was on the Virtual Boy.
I think I need to update the review because I think it said the N64 original, so I'll need to fix that. But so I played that game as well. I really enjoyed that as well. It's always been good. Here it's very similar. They made some changes to account for the fact that the main attraction here are the fever rackets. These are rackets with individual abilities. They kind of fall into a set number of categories, like There are ones that are going to do area of effect attacks or area of effect sort of hazards on the course. For example, if you activate the fever thing, you go up in the air, it pauses or slows down the world, and you get to aim where you want it to hit on the other side of the court, and it needs to hit on their side of the court at least once to actually drop the hazard. So it'll be like that spinning fire bar from Super Mario Brothers. If that's what your racket does, if it hits on the other side, it'll land there, and that will be on their side of the court for a limited amount of time. Not like a super short amount of time. It's going to be there, and it's going to be a hazard. It'll be something they have to deal with for quite some time. But if they hit it back before it lands on their side of the court, they can send it on your side, and if it lands on your side first, it will drop there. And so you get into these heated battles where you're kind of knocking it back and forth. And once it's on the course, it's really difficult and challenging to deal with. And there's other kinds of rackets where it's like, okay, this one's not going to do an attack or not going to drop a hazard. Instead, it's going to make all of your own like hits with the racket have a lot more spin to them. So you can like kind of send it right at a player, and then right as they're getting ready to hit it, it veers off to the left really harshly. And that's a lot of fun as well. You end up in these situations though, where it's like, that is the focus. So you almost can never hit the ball out of bounds during normal tennis play. They kind of have like bumper rails up on the side to prevent you from doing that. Okay. And at first I was like, I don't love that. But as I played more and was more into the fever rackets, I began to understand it, because that's where they want you to be dealing with most of the dangers of the play. And I think that's fair. The problem with this game is the problem with all of the recent Nintendo Mario sports games, in that they want this to be a full price game. And so they bolster it with extra content that just is not worth the price of admission. And, the number one sort of guilty party there is the adventure mode, which I say in the review, and it's true. I am no longer expecting these things to have anything close to the RPG that was in like the Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance games. That is not what I'm hoping for that, but it's not what I'm expecting anymore. So I'm not judging it against that. I just like, give me a good, fun tennis thing where I'm going into this world and doing fun things with tennis. Yeah. And they have those kind of like there's a bunch of mini games. The problem is like, it's just kind of a list of things you're going to do, a list of challenges. And then they have you walking back and forth in a world that just has no reason for you to be walking back and forth. There's nothing to do. And every time you get to one of these missions, these quests, it's like, okay, first, now let's cut away from the world that you were just walking around in. And instead of having like text bubbles appear above the characters in that world, we're going to have like a little cutscene where the characters are side by side, like an RPG or a bunch of other games. And they're kind of animating, and they're not really, there's no voice, but they're going to talk back and forth about stuff that doesn't matter. And they will present a problem that gets solved within the next 30 seconds. So it's kind of very forgetful. And then we're going to be like, okay, now do you want to go play the tennis? And you have to answer yes. And then it cuts away again, and you go do the tennis. And then sometimes that mini game, if you're any good at the game, will last for a lot less time than it took for them to set up the mini game. Yeah. It's just poorly conceived. It is not a thoughtful experience. And by the end, you're like, okay, that was what felt like a very long tutorial, and not much happened. And I didn't like really care. Now, the reason they don't just make the mini games a list of challenges is because there's another mode that has that exact same thing, and you can go do that instead, I guess. But that's not that much more thrilling. Really, if you're not going to play this as a party game with other people, either in your house or online, there's not much there for you. That said, the core tennis is still very good.
Grub, do you feel like the bumpers that they've designed, do you think they're for kids? Because based off of how you describe them, it kind of seems insulting.
I mean, a little bit. I think they are trying to make it a little bit more friendly, but I think it was probably a purposeful decision based around the idea of, like, it's almost impossible to get an out of bounds shot. It's not impossible. The only way I was able to force an opponent to get an out of bounds shot, I'll say I've never hit one out of bounds, but I got an opponent to do it a handful of times. And it's when I activated the fever racket, and it was the moon racket. When you activate that, your shots have a lot more spin to them. And I hit it so far out of bounds, like it would bounce on their side of the court and then continue traveling way out of bounds. And so when they hit it to return it, they would hit it and it would kind of bounce right outside of my court. And it's like, okay, I see what they're going for here. They want us focused on these abilities. And those abilities I don't think are bad. They're not a distraction. They are kind of key to the strategy of the game. So I enjoy using them. Now you could play without the fever rackets. I would imagine that is going to feel a little bit less thrilling because it is protecting you so much. I don't think it's going to like account for the fact that the fever rackets aren't there. So let's like open up the possibility of where you can hit the ball. That's probably not going to happen. So I said, I think on Blue Sky, when I am like a couple years removed from this version of the game, when I'm like, hey, I want to play Mario Tennis, I likely am not going to pick this one. I will probably just go back to Mario Tennis on 64 or really any of the other ones, but probably that original.
What's with this narrative hook? What's wrong with Daisy?
Like I said, any problem introduced gets solved 30 seconds later. She starts off the game sick, and you need to like go get a special potion for her, and then you get it in like the first mini game.
I thought that was like going to be the whole thing.
No, the whole thing is Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Waluigi, and Princess Peach all get turned into babies, and so you play the whole adventure as baby Mario and baby Luigi, and then baby Wario and baby Waluigi are sort of like they're in the clubhouse with you, and then later there's other areas that I can't talk about yet, and they kind of present challenges for you. But eventually, like the last mission is, okay, let's cure the babyism that all these characters have. That's the through line. Even that's not much of a through line because it's not like that is causing any problems. They're like, oh, you're a baby, so you have a weak shot in tennis, and it's like, well, not really. I'm doing just fine against this fucking piranha plant. I'm doing all right.
Sounds like we should solve the babyism with a lot of things happening over here, huh?
Yes.
It is, and I agree with you that I don't expect them to just do an RPG mode again. And yet, it seems like they have a problem that would be specifically solved by adding a feature that we had on the Game Boy Color.
I'll say that like the key thing that like I keep going back to is even if they just like made it so like a lot of the tennis stuff happened all on a contiguous world, like it happens in like Golf Story, where it's like in Golf Story, which is an early sort of spin or a take on the golf RPG from the Mario Golf games, came out on the Switch 1. At any point, you could drop a golf ball as you're exploring the world, hit it, and maybe like interact with something, find a secret, solve a character's problem, and it just makes the world feel alive and worth exploring. Like here, it's like, no, you're only walking from one place to another to activate another mini game that you're going to enter into separate from all of this. And it just makes the whole thing feel like a waste of time. And it's like, if they just gave me the ability to like drop a tennis ball and hit it at something in this world at any moment and kind of built some puzzles around that, it would feel much like a multiple of 2 or 3, like more fun and more interactive than what they actually have here.
I mean, on the indie side, we saw a game like Despelote last year, and like the soccer mechanics, big part of that, and interacting with the world.
Just kicking a ball around, and you like even it's just like you kick a ball into something, or you like see a bunch of kids playing, and you go try to kick their ball, and they have something to say about you playing with them. That would be very cool. The only thing that really happens here is you walk by the other characters from the Mario universe, and they might comment something, and they're probably going to comment something about how you can improve your tennis play when you actually go to play this game with your friends. So it's just disappointing in a lot of ways.
And you know, with tennis in general, Mario Tennis games, it is so much more of I probably need to be playing with my friends. At least with the golf games, like I can have a pretty good time playing 18 holes by myself. Here, I'm like, how often do I really see myself in a position where I'm hanging out with people and they don't want to play Smash Brothers or Mario Kart? They want to play Mario Tennis. And maybe I already have Mario Tennis Aces anyways. And how much better is this than that, really?
Yeah, I think I probably prefer Mario Tennis Aces. Because Mario Tennis Aces was like they refined it as a fighting game. Like these characters have their strengths and weaknesses. That, to be fair, there's a lot of that here as well, but it's more about the fever rackets and those abilities, and then the actual tennis is a little bit, not a lot, but a little bit mitigated in terms of its importance. And so I think I would personally favor Aces.
What's the last Mario sports game y'all really jived with?
I actually liked the last Strikers, even though it had the same problem with not a ton of content. But it felt really good. And I hadn't played as much Strikers before, so a lot of it
Right.
seemed sort of fresh to me.
That's like the other hidden problem here is like we did just get Mario Tennis Aces. If this game had all of the same features and quality of life and like the adventure mode worked the exact same, but it was Mario Baseball, I would probably feel different because it's like, oh, we haven't had one of those in forever. This is fun and refreshing. Here it's just like, oh, we're just going to do the same thing again and repeat all of the same mistakes. Apparently you don't see them as mistakes. It's just the way you make these games. You can see that we're not as happy with them, right? You see the reviews, right? But Nintendo just is doing their thing and then charges $70 for it, for what is a party game that most people are primarily going to play with other people in certain settings and as like their third or fourth pick during that party. They're going to play Mario Party and Smash Brothers first before they get to this.
This is not going to kind of help the sentiment out there that the Switch 2 sort of cadence of releases has not been perhaps the best, right? We've had some, we had Donkey Kong, which was great, and some good stuff for sure. I liked Kirby Air Riders a lot, but this is kind of another one like, oh, this is what we've got for this year so far, right? Like, is this the biggest Switch 2 release so far this year?
Yeah.
I'm a little confused about the timing because you're right, Grub. It feels like fairly recently that we got Aces, and I don't remember a lot of like fanfare leading up to Mario Tennis Fever dropping. Why not an Olympics game? The Winter Olympics are happening right now.
Those probably take very specific sponsorship deals and whatnot. I agree, it would have been interesting.
Sega does those too, and it's like Sega's just not doing those recently, so I think they're not paying for the Olympic branding.
Right. So
that's the problem.
I saw the screenshot that Dan posted on Blue Sky regarding Daisy sick in bed, and then I saw that this game is called Mario Tennis Fever. And in my head, I assumed you were
She's got the tennis fever.
That, or you were going to do like an Osmosis Jones style thing that you had to
Most of the courses do take place inside of Daisy's body, so Mike will be very excited about that.
Oh, good. I love that picture because she looks exactly as she always does. Her hair and her crowd and her earrings and everything. And like, she's like, oh, I'm dying. And like, Wario Wuzzy's like, oh, yeah, dude, she looks pretty bad. Yeah, like, she looks exactly the same.
It's so Nintendo. It's like, we can't actually change the character model. That'd be off-brand. That'd be off-character model.
Look like sick and not radiant. She still has her fucking eyeliner. Don't worry.
It does feel like the tools they use to make the story mode are just like, take the character and here are 5 or 6 buttons you can press depending on the emotion you need them to express for the line that they're saying, and the lines don't matter because again, nothing's connected. All of it's just one vignette to the next. And I like also said in the review, it's like none of it matters, and I don't mean that as these things need to like move me on an emotional level, but I want games to be designed in such a way that when they put something into a game, it is with the idea of serving a certain purpose. Yeah. And there's none of that here.
I mean, even like all the real sports games now, right? But like they all have pretty robust career modes or, GM modes, things like that. There's something meaty there to go along with just, I'm going to play the base version of this sport either by myself or with friends.
Yeah.
You're charging the same price as an MLB The Show or a Madden. So there should be some expectation of content there for sure.
Yeah. One of the 2K games had Jake from State Farm. Is Jake from State Farm in this game?
Yeah, is he, Jeff? Where's Jake from State Farm, you son of a bitch?
He's the
Stop
first
hiding him.
Nope. He's right front and center.
Okay.
Yep, absolutely. He looks like a Goomba, but yeah, that's him.
Okay. All right.
The Goomba holds the racket with his mouth.
Sure. Yeah.
That's great.
What
that's
else?
Good.
I actually like the cast of characters quite a bit. The blooper runs around with his little squiggly tentacles and then like leaves like a water trail, and that's pretty cute.
Yeah. We still have not added freaking I'm forgetting his name. The bad guy from Mario 2 to these games.
Not Toad. Wart.
I kept always saying Mort, and I think that's a Discworld thing. My bad.
Yeah. I just think that this does have me concerned for Nintendo's Mario sports games, where it's like, I think they have a formula that they're going to stick with. It's the Pokemon problem. So why would they spend more money if these things are selling enough to justify doing them the way they've been doing them? And I think that is not going to change this generation, which is a real shame.
Now, this is a Switch 2 only game, right?
Yeah.
Now, I am pretty curious. This game for only the Switch 2, which, it's the smartest always because it's the Switch 2, at that kind of price tag, and this, part of me is like, how much does this one actually sell? Does it still just kind of get away with it and do just fine, or is there going to be a little bit of a straw breaking the camel's back situation here eventually?
Yeah, it's hard for me to imagine a lot of people showing up for this, but I don't know. Like, people have bought a lot of Switch 2s, and it's a game for young families to play. Like, it has has a waggle mode, right? You can play with the waggle controller and stuff like that, and the characters will mostly move by themselves if you want them to, although you can use the stick to move them yourself if you need to. And it's like, so anyone can play it, and I could see some of those people being like, some of these families being like, yeah, this is a game we need because we always get them. I don't know if there's enough to sort of justify it this time around. You're right. I'll be curious to see how it does.
70 is pretty steep, looking at it. And also, as I was Googling other Mario sports games, the Strikers game that came out on the Switch is still full price, which...
Oh yeah. Nintendo.
That's classic. I mean, is Mario Tennis Aces still full price?
Probably.
I bet it is.
Probably.
Almost certainly.
God.
All right.
Yeah, it's if they just... I said I don't expect it anymore, but if they really just did make a real campaign like an RPG, and it's like you play as Mario or whatever, if you don't want them to play as some bespoke Camelot character, whatever, but just a real RPG, it's like you could justify that price really easily, but they don't want to spend that time and those resources.
I mean, Kirby Air Riders has like a good campaign. It's not that difficult. Figure it out.
Right.
Yeah, but that's, Sakurai can figure it out. He's done it over and over again. He's kind of alone on that island over there.
But this is like your flagship crew of characters, so I would hope that you just give them a little bit more care. All right, gang. Well, that looks like it is it for video game talk. No more talking about video games until next week, all right? No more. We're not doing it.
Fine.
We can play it. We're all just going to talk about LORT and nothing but LORT from now on, okay?
LORT week. LORT year.
Like
giant bomb.
LORT, yeah.
LORT is also just fun to say. LORT. Folks, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with the news right after this. This is Jeff Grubb with the news. Jeff Grubb.
First things first, we did discover a cure to babyism, everybody. Yay!
Wow.
Also, I didn't include on the rundown, we should just say that Discord face checking ID thing. Yeah, that seems to be picking up a lot of steam of people going like, hey, this sucks. We don't like Discord doing this, so we're going to start looking for alternatives. I wonder if they could back down. I know why all these companies are doing it, because there's states and countries all over the place enacting these rules that you have to be able to verify your user's age. But I don't. That's not our problem. They need to figure it out. Go work with those states and those countries, because I do not want to give my ID to any of them.
Yeah, the excuse that I see people trying to justify, not anyone within our circles, is like, we're here to protect the teens. We want to protect the children, and that's not doing.
If these companies wanted to protect kids, they'd be doing so much more to protect kids before some weird like law in some place forced them to do some draconian thing. This is just compliance. This is cover your ass. This is like making sure they don't get sued or get fined. It has nothing to do with protecting anybody.
Yeah. That being said, I canceled my Nitro because fuck this. I'm not giving my ID to anyone. Also, they had a massive data leak last year. I think in either October or November. So Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah, and it's like I will be okay giving my credit card to a company like this, because the credit cards have protection built into them. If my money does get stolen, the credit card company will protect that and give me my money back. That's the reason I pay with a credit card instead of a debit card. There's enough protections in place there where it's like that I'm a little bit less concerned about. The ID can just be so easily taken advantage of and exploited. I don't need that getting hacked. It's also just kind of crossing a line that I just don't want crossed by the internet. Like the internet wasn't supposed to feel this way. It wasn't supposed to feel like you need to prove who you are before you can use it. It was supposed to be free and open, and this is far from that. All right, let's get into the rundown I do have here. Sony confirmed that State of Play is going to happen on February 12th. Yeah, we talked about that. That is confirmed now. It's going to have both first-party and major third-party games. It should give us a pretty good insight into what 2026 is going to look like from them. And also, it is going to be more than 60 minutes long, which I
Oh.
think people are saying makes it the longest state of play ever. Do you think that do all of you think that equates to the biggest and like most bombastic state of play ever, on par with like a showcase from PlayStation?
Right. That's kind of the thing. It's like normally this showcase is a bigger thing here. And yet it feels like, I don't know, it just feels like we're kind of due for a pretty beefy state of play. There's not much we know about PlayStation for this year. You know, we got Wolverine, we've got Saros, and, you know, Tokon, right? It's been a while since it feels like they've announced something really big. Intergalactic or the Heretic Project, whatever it's called, probably not happening this year. So yeah, what is some of the new stuff? What else we got from some of these studios? And yeah, you know, a lot of third parties, they show up for the Sony thing. Right. Square Enix, especially. I don't know if I want to get my hopes up and be like, this is where we see Kingdom Hearts 4 again.
That's what I was going to say, Mikey.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it's been a while and we got to see the game at some point. Or, you know, Final Fantasy 7 Part 3. Is that going to like show up here? You know, even something slightly smaller like the next Dragon Quest remake, which, you know, they've been bringing those out at a pretty steady pace recently. Well, you know, we'll probably see things like more Resident Evil Requiem to kind of, you know, get the excitement building for that. But maybe this is where they show off the Monster Hunter expansion, which we know is coming for Wilds at some point.
Marathon, right? We have to get some type of updates
Marathon almost certainly has to be there. That thing is launching in early March. So this is their last big opportunity to signpost that and point people in the direction of the game that people seem to be feeling more positive about coming out of the most recent playtest. I have no idea. We'll see what happens.
My bold claim that's going to happen, Dark Cloud 3. I just want it.
Oh boy, what's level 5 up to these days?
Professor Layton and the New World is one of them that they have going.
That's right. Yeah.
But they could have a whole other team working on it. Of course, they're making Dark Cloud 3, and of course it'll be there. Everybody, go get your Kelshi. What's the predictive markets?
Is the predictive markets one.
Yeah, go put your bets in now, everybody.
Was level 5 was saying some kind of bad AI stuff?
Oh,
probably.
No.
That sounds familiar.
That's a Dark Cloud.
Oh, have you guys seen the rumors going around that this is where we're going to see Devil May Cry 6?
No,
really,
but I'm down. Sure.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't no guarantees for sure, and it just seems like there's someone like new out there throwing their hat in the ring as, hey, the latest insiders. So we'll see if that turns into anything. But it could be time. That's the team that did Dragon's Dogma. They seem like they were going back and forth. I don't know.
It is a little. Suno has left Capcom after Dragon's Dogma 2, so I wonder if either like whatever his new independent studio is just being contracted to work on it, or they just gotta get somebody else now to do Devil May Cry 6.
Wasn't there?
Yep, that's one of the reasons to be skeptical.
I know it's not Capcom, but wasn't there some rumblings of a potential Castlevania game?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's part of like the Konami sort of reinvigoration efforts of they had Silent Hill. Like the rumor was they're going to do a ton of Silent Hill, they're going to do a ton of stuff with Metal Gear, and they're going to bring back Castlevania. And all of the Silent Hill stuff happened. The Metal Gear stuff obviously happened, and we have not heard one word about this Castlevania project that it seems like it's still going to happen at some point. Every time one of these shows those happen, it's like, oh, is this where we're going to see it? I would love that. I would really hope so.
You know, there was that Sega initiative that started a couple years ago. You know, we've seen the Shinobi. Do we see a Crazy Taxi?
Yeah, maybe Crazy Taxi or Jet Grand Radio show back up, or one of the other ones they're doing. There's that other Streets of Rage game, right?
The Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 2 could show up here. Yeah,
sure.
That would be nice to see.
Nothing but acid, baby.
Yes, the oops all acid. What's the first party stuff though? You know,
God of War, Metroidvania.
Yeah, that seems possible. We'll see if that happens. You know, it got kind of moved around on the corporate side where they're like, we thought that would come out last year, and apparently at the studio they're like, that's never going to happen. So maybe it's nowish. We'll see. Who could say? I
would like more Astrobot. You know, just something cute.
Just keep updating that game with more stuff. Every time they do that, that's been great.
Yeah, they've added a lot. I also wouldn't mind if they're like are kind of like we're making the next one now, and that's going to take a while. That's fine. Yeah, I guess, you know, Insomniac, they seem pretty busy. I can't count on them for much more. We know what Naughty Dog is up to. It seems like Guerrilla Games is not going to be ready to talk about Horizon 3 because they're making the multiplayer thing.
Hunter's Gathering got announced last week or this past week. So they're probably like, we'll show off more of that at the State of Play. 60 Minutes, they're probably going to show off some of that as well. So,
yeah.
Maybe what about Cory Balrog's actual new game, right?
Yeah, it's like, that's the question. So the State of Play is 60 minutes. Is this where like we get like the really big stuff from them, like that hasn't been announced yet, like that, or is that something that still gets saved for a potential showcase? If those are even still going to happen, they have not done one in several years now, I think. So it might just be State of Play. So maybe this is where they have to start building up the State of Play brand to be like, no, this is just as big as this PlayStation showcases used to be. And I guess real quick, is for people who are like, why are you making a distinction between those two things?
Well,
the State of Plays have been like more leaning towards third-party partners. Like, hey, we're showing off other people's games, and here's a couple of first-party games here or there. And the showcase has been like, here's all of our stuff that we're working on that's coming out in the next 2 to 3 years. It's big, bombastic. It's a reason to buy a PlayStation, and they do those around the summertime, around the E3 time, usually. So yeah, and this is not going to be that.
We'll probably see more of Halo campaign evolved here, right?
You know what? Maybe, because that's that. We don't have a date for that yet, and the big factor here is that's coming to PlayStation. So yeah, easily.
Is this like a place to talk about PC ports of PlayStation games?
I don't know. I think maybe every once in a while, but it's hard to say. Like, the audience showing up for a State of Play are people who own PlayStations. So maybe not, but I think at the same time, Sony's like, well, we got a lot of people watching. We might as well talk about those games coming to PC as well. They've done it before. So
Half-Life Alyx. Half-Life Alyx is coming to PSVR 2.
Yeah, that's
this should also just close with Todd Howard, actually.
Yes.
A bunch of ports.
God. Speaking of which, that direct did happen last Thursday. It was a partner direct focused on third party for Switch and Switch 2. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth showed up a little bit quicker than I think a lot of people were expecting. That's coming June 3rd. As Mike alluded to, it ended with Todd Howard coming out and being like, yes, hey, you guys remember Oblivion remastered Fallout 4 and Indiana Jones? Yeah, we make those and you can play them again. Pragmata got a demo that people seem very happy with. Did either of you end up playing that on Switch 2?
I've installed it. I haven't played it yet.
Not on the Switch 2.
Okay, yeah, I've not, but I've heard good things about it. Apparently, it's running very well on there. People seem pretty happy with it. Rave Racer is happening. That's got one of the latest arcade archives, and then they introduced console archives with games like Cool Borders. So it was okay, but I think a lot of people are still like, hey, we are wondering when the primary general first party direct is going to happen, and no word on that anytime soon. All right. Oh yeah. Anything to say?
No, just that I want that. I think I need to see some stuff here pretty soon. I want to see some big things to be excited about. For instance, we have some things. We've got the Fire Emblem. Pokemon Day happens on the 27th this month. They will almost certainly announce Gen 10 there.
I've also been seeing a lot of buzz surrounding Pokopia, whatever it's called.
Yeah. Like the Stardew Valley where you play as a Ditto that has taken over a human body.
Yeah, like the freaks out there. They're being very loud in the streets about this.
Have people played that? Were there previews? Is that what happened?
I don't know if people are just excited for another farming game or if people are weird about Ditto.
Maybe. I remain skeptical, I think, until I start seeing some reviews. I don't know. We'll see. There's something about it that reeks a little 7 out of 10 to me, which is fine. That's good. But I'm just not ready to be excited for it yet.
I mean, it's a Pokemon spinoff. They're kind of all in that range, right? So
a lot of times, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Riot Games cuts around 80 staff of people who are working on 2XKO, their fighting game that they were working on for a very long time and just kind of came out recently. Engagement and retention underperformed relative to Riot's expectations is what they cite as the reason for this. Riot's still publicly committed to the game's 2026 competitive circuit, though. Apparently 2XKO is expensive for them to make. They own all of the licenses here, so I don't get it. I guess a part of it could be that they are trying to treat this as their new esport. So they probably built up all this infrastructure around that, which is just like, man, cart before the horse. I get that you're Riot, but just make a good game first.
Yeah.
And it is a good game. People like it quite a bit. That's why I think people are especially frustrated. There is about 80 people still working on the game. This is roughly half the studio. The question is like, is this game basically already dead and they're sort of just like winding it down slowly, getting through this esports season, and then they just will stop working on it? Or what is the future of this? And really, it's like, you know, fighting games used to just come out.
Yeah.
They would be that fighting game. They would get some updates. They would, and these days they get like years of new characters and stuff like that, but it was still like a packaged game you buy. This is a free-to-play game that needs to sort of be a service and sell skins and all this stuff. And maybe the fighting game market just can't support that. I don't know. How do you guys view this?
Were they expecting this to the League audience and like the Teamfight Tactics audience?
I assume so.
I assume so. I mean, that's why you make it with all these League of Legends characters.
Sure, but like, did they want that kind of numbers for a fighting game, which is like
maybe
like fighting games, even Street Fighter 6, that which has a big install base, you're not gonna get as many players as you're getting with like a MOBA.
So this is Seth Killian, who used to be at like Capcom. It was a designer on this game, and like, I talked to him at GamesBeat back in like 2015 because they had this kind of early access game called Rising Thunder, and the whole
the robots.
It's a robot fighting game. The whole point is like, oh, we made the fighting games more simple, so like, you know, we can get a wider audience. And then his company was bought by Riot. That game was canceled, and they've been working on this since then. This thing has been such a long time coming. So there was always that, you know, we're simplifying the controls, doing this so we can bring more people in. It's like maybe there always was that hope that, this is going to be like the one that's going to really open up this drama because it's going to be free to play, all this stuff. And, you know, we have this built-in audience, people who love these characters already. Just Google Ari, you'll see. But first off, it's a tag fighter, and you launch with 12 characters, right? And that's just not very many characters for a tag fighter. So that right there is a problem. It's weird. As much as I've always heard about this game, somehow I didn't know it was like actually out. I was confused and thought it was still an early access thing, sort of. It seemed like they had a hard time making the kind of like actual 1.0 this game feel like an event that it probably should have. It is strange because it should, because, you know, it's like Street Fighter 6 has been out for a while now. The new Fatal Fury didn't hit crazy well. I know some people are looking forward to Tokon. I don't know. Maybe just the announcement of Tokon took a little bit of this game's thunder, perhaps. I'm not sure.
For me, it was like, I'm with you, Mike. I was constantly in the confusion of like, okay, is this a beta right now? Is this out?
Do you guys know when it came out?
No.
January 20th.
What?
Like last month, like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, which is, again, like, because like I think I always was like, I'll check this out when it's like finally out, and I kind of didn't know, which again seems sort of strange to me. Go ahead.
I always thought it was kind of an awkward name as well.
It's not a great name.
And I mean,
it's like that fades fast, right? Like, like people just like will call games whatever at a certain point. It doesn't matter. You know, League of Legends isn't a good name either. It's like I just
great acronym though.
Yeah.
Well, but the brand recognition is kind of what I'm getting at. If that 2XKO is supposed to feature all these characters that people are familiar with from League of Legends or Arcane, the show, the Netflix show, just seeing 2XKO, it's not immediately broadcasting or making it known to me like, oh, this is tied into Arcane, this is tied into League.
Fighting games maybe just aren't super compatible with this whole kind of early access into free-to-play model, because Multiverses suffered a lot from that, and that had, you know, at least some initial excitement right away. But I don't know, like maybe this is so not what Riot Games does. I get that, but maybe this would have done better if it was a game that came out with like a 25-person roster and it costs $70 and it had some other modes, and then you do seasons of content with DLC characters instead of this format.
Yeah, it's I just think that if you're going to do this with a fighting game, you have to go in with the expectation that it's going to be a long, slow burn of building it up. Every time that you introduce a set of new characters and expand the roster and have expansions along those lines, hopefully you're growing the audience each time, and you show up to every Evo and you give that audience a reason to care more and more. And you sort of build from there. I think they expected to build from the top. And it's like, we are going to feed the Riot audience into this game. And I think a lot of people could have predicted that wasn't going to work. It's like, you make this game as, here's another fun thing off to the side in the Riot launcher, and you could play this as well.
Yeah.
The idea that it is going to then also be on the scale of any of those games is questionable. I never thought it was going to do that, and I assumed Riot knew that as well. It doesn't seem like they were thinking that way.
Again, I wonder what they were expecting. It is bizarre that this is a game that, again, they've been working on for maybe 10 years, and now just 3 weeks after the official launch, who knows? Maybe the team they have there is enough to turn things around, but it already feels like an admission of defeat this early.
Yep. Maybe they can shift into that way of thinking. My assumption here, though, would be that, no, this is like sort of them going, this didn't work, fail fast, and let's get out of here. Now, it took them 10 years to fail to this point, but it's not a failure in my eyes, but in their eyes, it seems to be. And will they still have a stomach for it? And will they care to try to slowly fan the flames of the embers of this game and turn it into something big? I don't think so.
I don't know if they have the patience to do that.
Yeah.
And like Street Fighter 6 came out, 2023? I want to say.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't like a runaway success.
I mean, every single Street Fighter game for like between 4, 5, and 6, maybe 5 took off a little bit faster.
Sure,
but they all take time to sort of get on their feet.
5 suffered pretty bad at launch. 6, I think, almost did better than a lot of them.
Maybe that's right what it was. Yeah.
But you said it, Grub. These specifically fighting games take time to get off the ground. I mean, there's so many games similar to like Super Smash Brothers that have taken multiple seasons, multiple years to like really fine tune that balance. Not saying
should they have made a platform fighter instead? Would that have been a better fit for that audience?
100%.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But then, there's multiverses there. I mean, it is strange because like how do you make a successful fighting game these days? It seems kind of like a tricky thing because there are just so many legacy players in the field right now. Can you just make a spinoff or something kind of new and hope to get people, even if you bring back something like Fatal Fury, which is at least in that core audience very recognizable, is that enough to get a ton of excitement? I'm gonna be very curious to see how Tokon does when that finally releases.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that'll be the indicator for sure when Tokon drops. What's the roster size that is expected for Tokon?
They kind of, let me see, because in the betas you can kind of see a lot of empty slots.
Right, that's a 4-team roster, right? Is that
it? Well, it's you pick 4 people. So it's going to launch with 20 characters, and people are kind of like, that doesn't seem like very many. Although it's like, it's not exactly like a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 thing where you're like tagging constantly. It's kind of like your one character dies and then the other one can come in. I don't quite understand it myself.
Okay. All right. Interesting. And I do remember now Street Fighter V having the rough launch. I remember where I was. I was on a train in Amsterdam listening to the Bombcast and listening to them sort of lament the state of that game. And it's like one of those weird things. Oh, I have a sense memory for Street Fighter V now. So,
Well, 5 was the one it didn't launch with its campaign mode even.
Right.
And then when it did come out, the campaign mode was bad. So it wasn't until like towards the very end where people were pretty happy with Street Fighter V.
That's right. All right. Let's keep going here. Epic Games Store says it's targeting day one on the next Xbox. A lot of talk about next Xbox, next PlayStation over the last couple of weeks. And we did get some more information, like Jez Corden over at Windows Central sort of tried to wrap up a lot of these comments and rumors and speculation and statements from people like Lisa Su over at AMD, who said, we have a chipset that we're going to have ready to support a launch of the next Xbox in 2027. Jez has said that is a best case scenario, 2027. Really, they want to get the the operating system in a good place so that it can be what it needs to be, which is what it needs to be is what it's going to be, is a PC that has an Xbox sort of environment, similar to the way the Steam Deck works, where you can swap into the window, or you can swap into desktop mode, which takes you into Linux, but most of the time you're in a special SteamOS environment. They want to do the same thing for this, and in that environment, you'll be able to access stuff like the Epic Game Store. And Epic says they're going to be ready to go. It seems like they have a pretty close partnership on this. I don't know. It's been the rumor for a long time, but it sounds like those ducks are really lining up in a row for that to be what the next Xbox is going to be. How do you feel about it?
I don't want it. I don't think we need it. I don't think anyone needs another PlayStation either.
Yeah, but not anytime soon.
I will say 2027 is a best case scenario. Well, I don't think it's going to be a best case scenario. I'm just going to go ahead and predict that. So, I mean, who knows how I'm going to feel in 2028 when I reasonably expect to see this at the earliest. But yeah, I'm going to be curious what it looks like and how it compares to what Valve is going to be up to. I'm going to be curious how much that kind of thing is going to cost. What sort of features are what's the juice going to be here to sort of sell this as something more exciting than just a PC that acts like a console?
Is like the current infrastructure of the current Xbox, can that not support the Epic Game Store? No,
because it's not. Well, it could. They'd have to just do a lot. They'd have to do a lot more work because it's not just Windows. It's a Windows kernel, but the stuff wouldn't speak to each other. They'd have to build that, and it would take time. Whereas this thing is just going to be a Windows PC with a new sort of front end interface that should be, based on what they're talking. They're really focused on getting this right in a way that apparently they weren't focused on with the Xbox Roger Ally, where it's like that's kind of like a gesture towards this idea, but not really this idea fully realized. But yeah, they're going to have to kind of make a whole new console to just launch with that concept ready to go instead of trying to backport that to the current generation of Xbox. Who
is this supposed to be for? Because I feel like the Xbox console warriors have been terribly mistreated by Xbox at this point, that like even they have to realize that there is no console war anymore.
They are that audience is not even on the list of priorities anymore. This is about making sure they could sell Call of Duty everywhere and making the Xbox brand very clearly the kind of thing where it's like, these are games that you can play anywhere, and if you want to get the Xbox branded thing, you could do so and get a guaranteed sort of quality experience.
Yeah.
But if you're someone that has any sort of PC or whatever, I mean, that's the thing that's exciting to me is I have a PC, and if this is the way things go, Xbox console games should be backward compatible on PC. Now, that could be limited to a certain variant of PC architecture, but it shouldn't be. They should be able to make it just work on Windows across the board, and that's pretty exciting. But yeah, that audience that supported Xbox as console warriors for two and a half decades, that's not who they're selling Xboxes to anymore. They don't care to.
I mean, it feels like that's kind of a thing that's sort of dying, right? Like the Xbox fan. I mean, not that Xbox era was ever like, console wars or anything, but, it was like a site that was Xbox focused, obviously, and they're changing their name, right? They're going to be Day One, which is a very smart decision, I think, but it's also telling to me about the state of Xbox when, a big site like that used to just be like Xbox focus is now rebranding.
Yep. And I think that's just kind of where the whole thing is, and everyone's reading the tea leaves there pretty accurately, I think. All right. Rayman kind of remake in the works. Michel Ancel, I should say, says that a kind of remake of the original Rayman is kind of in the works. It's not a strict remaster. The goal apparently is to preserve the original feel, but modernize friction points. So like new checkpoints, better presentation, that sort of thing. Last year marked the 30th anniversary of the game. So it's okay. Why didn't it happen then? But maybe it's taking longer than they expected. Rayman is cool. I'm glad they're doing more with it, but it's always like weird. Like Ubisoft is still going to care enough about this thing to actually deliver it. Like I just saw what happened with Prince of Persia. So is the same thing not going to happen here? And it's like, I don't know, maybe it will, maybe it won't.
Before they cancel that one game, we did get the two other Prince of Persia games at least, right? So
yeah,
we'll get point. This, and then like the actual new Rayman will be canceled or something, right?
Yes. apparently they're also going to re-release Rayman Legends, and maybe the what's the follow-up to that one called? Rayman
Legends was the follow-up. Origins is the first one.
Or thank you. Yeah, that's what it is. Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends. Apparently they're going to do both of those as well.
Those are both good games. Rayman 1 is
games.
A good game. It was just always too difficult and frustrating, so things you could smooth out pretty easily if you remaster it. So, I'm like tentatively kind of interested in this. I hope they don't mess around I don't want that game to look like Rayman Legends. I like the kind of PS1-ish. I mean, it was like there's a Jaguar version of this game, right?
Yeah.
It was kind of it was like the best looking 2D game ever at the time. I still want it to look like that.
Yes.
Do you think they're going to retroactively add the Rabbids?
God, they better not.
They better.
The Rabbids are done. They tried. Nintendo gave the Rabbids Mario, and they're like, even that was not enough to keep people interested in the Rabbids. They're over.
In this Minions world, the idea that the Rabbids are done is absurd.
Yes. In this video essay, I will talk about how, Ubisoft has made a bunch of boneheaded moves, but the most boneheaded move is to not invest in the Rabbids and minionize
Drop the
them.
bag.
God.
Children, they were already minionized. There was there.
No, the minion eyes were Rabbids eyes.
Guys, I hate to say this, but apparently the minions have something that the Rabbids just don't got.
It's the goat sauce. It's the goat sauce.
You don't have to be so harsh with that. They're so truthful.
Sorry, it's over.
It's over. Monster Hunter Wilds is getting a large expansion this summer. Capcom is framing it as large scale. And so think Iceborne Sunbreak. Sunbreak, was that the other one?
Yeah, that's the other one. That was one for Rise, yeah.
So think along those lines. We're expecting this. It is maybe even a little bit overdue to start hearing about it. Now we are starting to hear about it. They are also confirming that Wilds is still going to get long-term live support. The anniversary update is coming soon and adds to the cadence of ongoing content. So I think people are just kind of waiting for this game, for like the green flag to get raised on this game. But like, now's the time to come back. Like all that stuff that you hated originally about the performance, all of it's been fixed. There's new content. There's stuff here for people who have always played Monster Hunter, and now it's hard and weird, and you're going to have to like learn the very specific things about these monsters that requires you to go in there and beat them and stuff like that. That has not happened yet. It could happen here. They are rightfully committed to Wilds, right? They probably should get people feeling better about this game before announcing anything new with Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah, I feel like Wilds is going to settle into a place where that hardcore audience is eventually satisfied with the state of the game, and the on-ramp is okay enough for new players to explore, so they can hopefully satisfy both camps. I want to take this opportunity to what if Mewgenics, but Rabbids?
God damn it, Jan.
Jan, you got something there.
Come on.
Tiles won't fix Rabbids.
But what if they bang each other? What if that'll fix them?
I do want to see the rabbits hump each other.
I want to breed rabbits. Absolutely.
Yeah,
not
absolutely.
Personally. God, guys.
Jesus. I mean, I just hope they take this opportunity to kind of maybe add some of the friction back into Monster Hunter.
Sure.
It definitely just simplified that experience. They got rid of the hunting part of the monster hunting, it feels like, right? Your little secret or secret thing just ferries you over to wherever you need to go at all times. And they like try to make it like, look, you can use your hook shot to gather a leaf on your way, as if that's interesting.
Mike, do you think in this expansion it is going to lead to a world that is inhospitable to the sacreds, so you can't bring them?
They might do something like that. They might not be a bad idea. But like that idea in Rise felt much better when you had the little wolf people you were on, right? Like that felt good enough there. So I don't think it's necessarily a terrible idea. And I like the way that they kind of hold another build for you, or even some other items. But even then, that kind of feels like, well, if you run out of potions, just go over there and get some more. Again, they smooth down the edges too much, while still somehow making it difficult for me to figure out how to get co-op working. I don't know. Of course it's not a terrible game, but it just does not feel like it is what it should be. I think a lot of the technical stuff has been smoothed out, hopefully by now.
It's improving. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but I think people are. the people that checked out because of that have not come back to it hearing that news. They're waiting for more and more. They want to hear that, and there's reason to come back in terms of the style of play. And then the expansion should be able to focus on that. Like, the expansion should answer a lot of the criticisms, right? That's the whole point of an expansion like this, make the game that people wanted in the first place. You have a strong opportunity to do that. We'll see.
Now, Mikey, what if we minionized the Palicos?
Oh, I think they've been doing that. I think that's been happening already a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not. I think I still like the Palicos. Every once in a while, I'm not sure. Sometimes I'm not sure, but I think I like them. I don't want to see them hump. They should not be humping.
No. There a mod on the PC to turn my Palico into a rabid?
No.
You spoke into the world. We'll see. Chuck! All right. Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls is leaking ahead of that state of play. Mike, you had that question. How many characters are in there? 20. There's going to be 20 characters according to this leak.
Yeah, that just doesn't sound like a lot. I mean, it sounds bare minimum acceptable. Maybe.
Yeah, for a 4v4 tag game.
Well, and again, it's not really like a 4v4 tag game. It kind of is.
But you still pick 4 characters.
You pick 4 people. Yeah.
And that's
which is going to be a fourth of the roster.
Yes. A fifth. Yes. But yes. Yeah, absolutely. It is going to have dedicated single player content, which you would hope so. But I was like trying to suss out exactly what the leak was saying. I kind of pieced this together right before we started the show. It's like there's going to be a story mode of sorts.
You got Marvel in there. You got to have some kind of story mode, right? Even Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite had a story mode.
Right, exactly. So it's like, that's what I'm expecting. But really, this game is going to live and die on like how excited people can get about these Marvel characters fighting each other. And I think this seems to have potential to be like a big prestige fighter in that space.
Sure.
And everything we're seeing about it so far does seem like it's like could get there. I know that last playtest, people are like, it's pretty good, but, and I didn't fully understand the buts because I'm only so into fighting games.
There's some skepticism. Yeah, the beta did not go over amazingly well.
Was it not just tied into like the limited number of characters available?
I think it was
it was gameplay stuff. People were a little not sure about. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean that's. I believe that it is what Arc System Works has frequently taken feedback from playtests and made changes to their games before they come out. But we'll see. This game is coming this year. This is certainly one we're going to see at that state of play. So
yeah,
hopefully
got to reveal some of these. I think we only know 8 of the characters. So they got to like reveal some of them. Give us Cyclops for Jan. He's been a good boy.
Please.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and look, I know it's not Marvel's Capcom. Like, can you get like? Give me a Mega Man, like, as a guest character. He's got a new game coming out. Give me something.
Are you being serious right now? They're absolutely not going to do that. No way.
Any like other characters that y'all would want to see?
I don't know. I'm basic. I just want Wolverine, so I'm good.
Yeah, my kind of like, I don't know. There's not much you could do Marvel-wise lately. Not that like I hate Marvel now, but there's not much you can do in that space that I would find exciting and super interesting. Like, oh my god, I can't believe you picked this Marvel character. I never would have thought. I don't know. Again, for me, it's just do things that remind me of Marvel's Capcom. So put a Gambit in there and have him have Cajun Strike and the kinetic card. But I think it sounds like credit card. Then I'll be pleased.
Sure.
I just want any character that was in X-Men 97. They should all be in there, and then I'll be happy.
If they did Nightcrawler, which hasn't even been in a Marvel's Capcom, I would be like, that's cool. Show me Nightcrawler.
That'd be really cool. They should add Benicio del Toro's character from that one Guardians movie, but it's actually just Benicio del Toro.
Okay. Yes. Okay. And his ultimate is just a few small beers.
A few small beers, and he like
does like a little dance.
Tap dance.
Yeah.
I almost guarantee you either Ghost Spider or Miles Morales will show up here. One of the other Spider-Man will finally show up in one of these.
In a Sony game? Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Overwatch redesigning Anran? How do you say this lady's name?
Anran?
Oh, I don't know. Anran. Yeah. Well,
Sounds like
Anran
Ayn
does not
Rand.
sound right, right?
Yeah.
I've
don't know how
not
to say
heard
it.
the name spoken out loud yet, so I'm not sure.
Yes, it sounds like Ayn Rand.
This
Everybody, we're
update
sorry.
got pushed while we've been talking, by the way. I hope you all appreciate my restraint of not starting up Overwatch.
Good boy.
Thank you.
But yeah, there was a backlash because her face was too skinny, and people are like, "We want her to be thick again." And
That's I don't know if that's what that was about.
I saw some people saying that she had like Ozempic face or something like that.
Okay.
So yeah, I listen. You tell me, Mike.
My understanding is that it's kind of like everybody has the same almost kind of Disney-fied Pixar cute girl face that Kiriko had, and I saw a meme of people kind of just replacing different hairstyles with the same face, and it's basically the same. Kiriko looks like Juno, who looks like this character, right? So sometimes with this stuff, I think it's pretty silly and stupid. In this one, I think there was kind of a point that, especially with the sort of character they're doing here, her looking like a 20-year-old Pixar character didn't seem to make a ton of sense.
Well, the voice actor and a bunch of fans were sort of like, "Hey, this sucks," and Blizzard's like, "We agree, we're going to make it better." So we'll see what that looks like in a future update. Speaking of Blizzard, a second StarCraft shooter has hit the towers. They're working with Nexon apparently to make another different StarCraft shooter than the other StarCraft shooter that also has not been announced, but apparently is happening. It's going to be big budget, live service, maybe PvPvE.
I'm about to say this has to be the extraction shooter one.
It's
right?
got right. It's almost certainly an extraction shooter, right?
Yeah, like come on.
No.
I can see it.
Nexon. I don't know.
Nexon.
Like, I don't even know. I don't really know if Nexon's made an extraction shooter, but they've had to have made it.
Is it Nexon Arc Raiders? Like Nexon,
is that them?
I think they're behind Arc Raiders, right? So Arc Raiders and Nexon. I'm gonna look that up. That could be wrong, but I don't think it is. Maybe it is. Either way, yeah, they've definitely worked in this space before. So, Nexon Arc Raiders. There it is.
There you go.
So yeah, they definitely have done this. I don't know. I will give me one that I really like, like a StarCraft shooter that I actually care about. That feels like a big budget, like AAA traditional style game, and then knock yourselves out. I don't care.
Yeah, like,
let's get one out the gate first. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I know I should have let this go a long time ago, but I still want StarCraft Ghost. That's kind of like Splinter Cell, and sure, it has shooter mechanics in it, but I kind of want it to mostly be, I don't want to say more interesting than that, but more interesting than that.
Yep. All right. Yeah, that does it for the headlines. Jan, this show's back over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Grubb. Folks at home, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be back with emails and YouTube Super Chats if we have any. We'll see you on the other side. These are the emails for the show. Emails.
Wait,
First
I
email.
played Nioh 3. I forgot about that.
Oh, shit.
Oh, my God. He hit the music.
Get the music back.
Whoa.
I forgot about Nioh 3. That was a game I played.
We only talked about games for an hour and a half, Mike.
I know.
So
I thought
need
that
to
was
talk
going to
about
be
more.
like, well, it'll be a quick game section. It's just the three of us, right?
That's what I was going to say. It was just only the three of us. There's only so many games.
One for each Nioh. I think Nioh 3 is fun. I don't know. I'm a little surprised people seem like so high on it. Maybe I probably still need to play even more. I did that quick look with Kayla, and I enjoyed running around with her. I do think the combat feels pretty good. The whole kind of, you can shift between samurai ninja stance. There's slight differences there. That's fun. It's just like a couple of pain points for me that are pretty strong. I don't like the loot system. I know it's just a thing with these ninja team kind of roguelikes where it's almost more Diablo loot where you just get a ton of loot. You kind of like basically just auto-equip what's best, or you kind of sort through it and you got to get rid of a lot of it. It's just, I don't know. Like that doesn't do anything for me in this kind of game. I think it's much more interesting to just find a few pieces of loot that's really meaningful than just constantly looking at green arrows for slightly better stats here or there. I think the game's ugly too. I just don't like the way it looks. It just seems kind of, I don't know. There's certainly moments, but there's something garish about it. There's something, and again, I know what I mean by this, but it also sounds stupid when I say it. It looks like a PlayStation 4 game.
I think I know exactly what you mean when you say that, though, Mike. Watching the quick look and watching you guys play it, it did feel aged. And if anything, it just made me want to check out Strangers of Paradise because that's funny.
which a game I liked, but also very ugly game.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird to me that Team Ninja, which to me, they used to do Dead or Alive. They used to make the best looking console games you could possibly imagine. And now I think that their stuff generally is pretty unappealing to look at.
Sure.
Is it art or tech? Both.
It's a little bit. I think it's a smidge of both. But the art, there's colors. It's not like, it's just all gray. But, there is something to color balance and color matching. And I just don't think these games do that very well. That's why I say garish. That's what I mean when I say it looks garish. There are colors, but I don't think those are the right colors.
All right. Well,
I have an email as well. You guys, I told you to remind me to turn off Crisp, and then you never did.
That's true.
You're bad friends.
I apologize.
Thank you.
Man.
Yeah,
Okay.
but look, Nioh 3 seems fun, and especially I kind of like the open world stuff it's doing, and I want to explore more of that. And the boss fights are good, and that's kind of the most important
whole
thing in these
Uh-huh.
games, right? So
Yeah.
I bet there's a lot more fun to be had there.
Is it like methadone? Is it like you are craving a FromSoft game, and this sort of like satiates it enough because the boss fights are
A little
good?
bit. It's it's messed up that in my mind this isn't enough of a Souls-like just because the attack buttons aren't the shoulder buttons.
Shoulder buttons. No, you're 100% right. Yeah.
I'm like square and triangle to attack.
What is this for children?
Right. This is how from brain I've become lately.
All right, gang. Emails, bombcast@giantbomb.com is emails. Just send your emails to. First email comes from Max. This is Max from South Bend. This came to me as I was falling asleep yesterday. I've heard Backlash referred to as the skipper. Following that logic, does that make Dan Gilligan?
Yes.
I would have
That's
Jan.
exact. Yeah, go ahead.
I would have Jan as the professor, making things out of coconuts.
Have a coconut, bitch.
Sean as Ginger, the hot one. Grub as Marianne, the not as
Thank
hot, but more down to earth. And Minotti as Mr. Howell. He's comfortable carrying around large amounts of cash.
That's right. Well, yeah. I mean, if you missed it from our Bombathon, we had Backlash play the NES Gilligan's Island game. I did a whole song for it. Was it with Gilligan? No, with Backlash, Dan Riker too, Turbo Sean, and Jeff Grubb, with Chuck Towski, Mike Minotti, and Mr. Jan here on Bacalaure's Island. Yeah,
that was good stuff.
Beauty.
And like there's images of Dan dressed as Gilligan, and Backlash has the skipper
really
hat.
well. I love him wearing that hat. I think
me
it
too.
looks great.
I last week on the dump truck, which everyone should go check out, we had our friend Bailey Myers on. I looked down and then I look back up, and Backlash is wearing the skipper hat for no reason.
Yeah, me too. I was like, I didn't want to say anything.
There was no reason. I saw that image and it was just like, okay, they must have talked about that fact that his nickname is now the skipper, which obviously it is, and he put on the hat. It didn't come. Okay, well, I love that even more. Then that's like him embracing. I think he wants to be called the skipper more than we have been. We've been slipping. We haven't been good friends.
Yeah, we should call him Skipper more, and I think he should buy a boat.
Oh, that goes without saying.
Well, he should buy a boat so we can then all be on the boat.
We can go on his boat.
On a boat.
We can go on Skipper's boat. Yeah.
Oh, does that mean we have to rename Dib to Dibber?
Skipper and Dibber.
Skipper and Dibber. Oh, that's good. It's good. Next email comes from Tyler from Gilbert, Arizona. Hey, gang. Final Fantasy Tactics is one of my favorite games, so I was thrilled to get my hands on Ivalice Chronicles. I played through the game twice on PlayStation, once on PS2, once on the PSP, and now I'm playing it on the PC. Since I've played it a few times, I'm pretty familiar with the game. What's been really weird for me is I now have really bad analysis paralysis when playing the game. Sometimes I end up spending an hour between fights trying to decide on what direction to take my characters, which is getting to be really annoying. I'm also playing Dispatch and find myself trying to research big decisions like which character to cut from the team because I'm afraid of screwing up my playthrough. I was curious if any of you all have run into this issue playing games, and if so, how do you handle it? Tyler from Gilbert, Arizona.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I kind of had to like learn to let go, but like there's definitely a part of me when it's like, do you want to cut this character or this character from your dispatch team? I'm like, I would like to know more. And of course, the whole point of the game is, well, sometimes you make hard decisions and you have to deal with the consequences later. But I'm also like, yeah, but I know if I Google it, I can find out the consequences right now and make a more informed decision. But you do kind of have to remind yourself, like, it's fine. Like, these games are generally designed well enough that they aren't going to let you royally mess something up or have a bad experience because of a choice you made. Back in the day, there were games that would do that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
These days, you'll probably be okay. Evil's Chronicles, like, that's not I'm trying to think. I don't think that's like a game with like a true ending where you can miss talking to a statue in Act 1 and getting locked out of the true path.
There, I could see it being like, I would be afraid of playing through the whole game and then later discovering it's like, oh, there was an awesome ability I never used with the character because I didn't min-max it or whatever. So I kind of get that a little bit. But I am, in general, the exact opposite of this, where and it like this applies to life. I make choices based on like probabilities constantly, where it's just like I have enough information to like kind of like in my head do some quick math and being like, there's a certain percentage chance of this and a certain percentage chance of that. Let's just go with the one that I feel better about. And if it doesn't work out perfectly, oh, well, the chances are the other one was going to work out perfectly as well. And so when I'm playing Dispatch, I'm definitely doing that, living in the moment. And I really enjoy playing games that way. It's why I like stuff like Sectori so much, because it's all just in the moment. Every little thing is happening right then and there. And there is no like choice necessarily. I mean, I suppose the build of the thing can matter later, but whatever. You have to like deal with what's in front of you. And I really enjoy that aspect of games. So I tend to lean towards the kind of games that can be played that way with a little bit more freedom and not have to worry about the concerns of making choices. Although in Dispatch, I liked having to live with my consequences. For me, that is part of the game.
I kind of fall into a different pattern where sometimes this kind of applies more to shows than most games, but I'll be near the very end, maybe like the last act, last level, last chapter, whatever. And then I just won't finish it because I just kind of don't want it to end. And I've done the same thing with TV shows.
Yeah, I've done that a bunch of times where it's like I'll have like one episode left or one boss fight left. And I'm just like, ooh, okay, well, I'll get to that like when the moment is perfect.
Right.
And then that perfect never happens. Yeah.
I don't know what that is supposed to say or what that does say about me as a person.
I'm not going to talk to a therapist. Yeah,
no. Not until one sponsors the show. All right, moving on. Next email comes from Max from the Netherlands.
Careful, we're gonna get messages from BetterHelp or something.
Hey, bombers! The discussion about hot dog vending machines on last week's Bombcast made me realize the USA isn't blessed by the presence of the automatique. See attached picture. A vending machine of sorts of hot dogs, burgers, and other fried snacks. Though I've also seen them equipped with desserts, drinks, and even merchandise. An employee actively restocks the products, and all customer has to do is pay, open the window, take their item. There's no need for human interaction at all. It's kind of great. Love all that you guys do. Hope you get to do even more of it. Max from the Netherlands. We need these.
Okay, you are describing a paradise. You're describing a perfect world. I need to see this. Automatique? Is that what he said?
Yeah,
I'm a little worried. Like, but if there's not am I going to be able to special order my burgers so I can get them plain still? I wonder
if it's like they mostly come like unseasoned, unvegetabled, and like you could like order that in there as well, and it drops in like a sack, and you throw it on there yourself.
Yeah, there's one that's just sliced raw tomatoes.
Yeah, maybe there's like a
FIBO. I'm gonna do it.
A condiments bar to the side to like add the proper accoutrement.
I'll just eat the condiments. I don't care. I don't even need to buy the burger. Just give me some ketchup packets and some lettuce.
God, I'd eat this shit up. I would do this. This is better than like the like in most office parts of a city, like a financial district, let's say, they will have these fast serve food places. But all that shit sucks. This is cool.
Yeah. Yeah, this looks like it's a high class one of those. I've seen these things before where it's like it's the little window, but there's a kitchen on the other side where they're like replenishing them, and you just go up and you choose the one you want. And then they do have so many little windows. They probably do have one made to your specification.
Yeah, yeah. Max, please, what is the best thing you've gotten from an Automatique if they are still around in the Netherlands? All right, moving along, gang. This one also about hot dogs. This one comes from Pedro from Quebec. Salut, mes amis. Pedro from Quebec. I am binge listening some episodes from December and January, so this might be a little out of date, but I feel like you guys have been talking a lot about pizza recently. Constantly.
Our entire lives.
I would like to share that in the first Bombcast episode I ever listened to, you guys were claiming to be more pro hot dog than pizza, and that you may be the most hot dog forward podcast. You might recall this was an episode that Mike shared his double-wielding, raw-dogging hot dog eating experience, i.e. having one hot dog in each hand without ketchup and mustard. Yes, we put that together. All I ask is for more hot dog representation. Keep fighting the good fight.
Look, we play characters on these podcasts sometimes, and we say things, and like we're the hot dog podcast. That's true. And we will live that life, but also I really like pizza quite a bit.
Sometimes art imitates life, though. I think we probably, out of all the video game podcasts out there, and there's at least 3 of them other than ours, I think we talk about hot dogs the most.
I do legitimately love hot dogs. I've been having them for lunch with sauerkraut. It's like a good way to get some fermented cabbage and stuff like that, which is really good for my tummy. That's been really good.
Man, I have no memory of telling the story or of the story originally happening of raw dogging to
we just say things sometimes on podcasts.
I'll tell you one thing. There's no way I like hot dogs. There's no way I'll take one over pizza. The only time I will is at a baseball game. Then yes, I want a hot dog. Get that pizza out of here. Give me a hot dog, stadium mustard, all the good stuff.
God. I need to go to a Red Wings game. They have Little Caesar. That's like a very good Little Caesar's pizza there. Ooh, need to do that, son.
Now I want hot dogs.
I'm getting pretty freaking hungry.
I might go get a hot dog. Okay, well, this is the last email of the show then. This is just for you, Mikey. Once again, bombcast@giantbomb.com is the email address. Send your emails to.
Thanks for all the emails, everybody.
We've been getting a lot of them. Good. So it's been very
People
hard.
want to talk to us.
Yeah.
Wow. What an engaged audience. They should also engage with our premium content, which they can do by signing up at giantbomb.com/join. Giant Bomb. We're exploding for your fun.
You use promo code Mikey. He's paid by commission.
Yeah.
That's right.
Learn the turn.
Learn the turn.
All right. This comes from Derek from Florida. Hiya, folks. This message is mainly for Mikey. My sister and brother-in-law have recently gotten into the Lorcana card game. And since we live in Florida, they have decided to get an annual pass to Disney World to go get the special release cards from over there. We both live around 2 hours away, and they've gone probably close to 8 times in the past month. Well,
hell yeah.
I haven't been to a Disney park in probably close to 20 years, and since I can easily catch a ride with them, I ended up getting an annual pass as well. I took a day off of work, and we went to Hollywood Studios last week and had a good time. We ended up eating at the 50s Primetime Cafe, and we enjoyed all the food there. Food quality and presentation was excellent. Now, I remember Mike saying that the food is one of the low-key things to look forward to while at Disney World. So can you hit me up with some recommendations? I'm planning on an Epcot trip next month, and will most likely hit up Magic Kingdom shortly after. You might need to sell me and my sister on the Animal Kingdom. Since we live in Tampa Bay area, we have Busch Gardens a lot closer to us, and from the outskirts, they seem similar. Thanks, Derek from Florida.
Oh, you got to go to Animal Kingdom.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom. To me, it's like I'm sure Busch Gardens is nice, but I think the theming is a lot more detailed at Animal Kingdom. It's a little now. They did just close one of their major sections, the Downland one, because they're rebuilding it to be Indiana Jones and Encanto. So maybe it's lacking some stuff there. But if you like Avatar, the Avatar stuff's there.
Yeah, you have to see the Avatar stuff. It's no, even if you don't like Avatar.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So good that it will probably make you like Avatar.
Yeah, and then, like the ride that is the safari ride where you actually are just like in a car driven by a person and they do just have the animals out there. That's very cool. I get it. You only have so much time, so maybe you can wait till Animal Kingdom gets this new stuff, then do that. Epcot food. Speaking of pizza, I do actually like the pizza place in the Italy section of Epcot quite a lot. It's called Via Napoli, so they're doing the Napoleon style pizzas, super tasty. Lots of good stuff there. There's usually festivals going on at Epcot too, where there's going to be food booths just speckled about. It's kind of fun just to go around and try things randomly here or there. If you like steak, there's a steakhouse in the Canada section there called Le Cellier. It's actually mostly famous. The steak is good, but it's largely famous for some of the other stuff like the cheese soup they have there. And there's also a mushroom risotto that comes with the filet there. That is incredible. If you like tequila, go to the Cova del Tequila in Mexico. They have incredible margaritas. They also have just a very good, it's just queso, but I don't know why. I like the queso there with the chips. Quite a lot.
The ramen shop in the Japan area is very good as well.
Yep, ramen shops. There's all sorts. There's a kind of Muppet themed barbecue place in the America Pavilion called the Regal Eagle. Sam Eagle themed. That's incredible.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean Epcot's largely built around food, so you're gonna just find good food all over the place. Go to the Caramel Kusch in Germany and get yourself some caramel corn. Incredibly good.
Lovely.
Jane,
okay.
Jane, do you want to say something?
No, I just like a Muppets themed barbecue place. Why haven't I been?
It's fantastic. Like I didn't even eat there, but I went in because I'm like, wait, is that Sam Eagle? And you go in and there's just a couple of references here or there, but it smells so good. Barbecue at Disney, kind of across the board, very good.
Yeah,
sure,
yeah. Surprisingly, Flame Tree Barbecue at Animal Kingdom also has some good stuff. And then I know you were at Studios already, but there's a Toy Story themed barbecue place there called the Woody's Roundup Barbecue. That is very good.
Oh, that's where we did eat barbecue, and that ruled. That was so good.
Yeah, Caramel Kusch or Couche. It's German for kitchen. Everybody.
That's
what that thing. Yeah,
me and Jan don't know. We have no idea.
English.
Speaking of theme parks, the Olympics are happening right now, and it's on NBC. And Jimmy Fallon will show up every once in a while. And I don't care about Jimmy Fallon, but anytime he's in one of these bits, it always feels like I'm about to start on a Universal ride.
Hell yeah.
He has the exact same energy for the Olympics as he does for whatever thing he's introducing at Universal.
There's the Bad Tonight Show Simulator ride, which is a real thing at Universal.
That is a thing. Did that used to be something else, or
it used to be Twister?
That's right. Weird.
That used to be Twister. Yeah. Then he also is like the host of the Tram Tour still.
Yes,
Hollywood.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Speaking about Muppets, if people have not checked out the Muppet Show with Sabrina Carpenter, I highly suggest you go check it out. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm doing that this weekend.
So excited. I'm going to watch it with the kids probably tomorrow.
I hope they turn it into a full season series. I need it.
Is it not supposed to be? I really...
It's not. Technically, this is like a kind of a pilot or test, but maybe it seems like it's being so well received that I imagine they're going to go through with it, but who knows? We'll see.
Give me Turnstile on the Muppet Show. Make it happen. That does it for emails. Mike Minotti, hit me with some YouTube super chats. Have we got any?
We sure do, actually. Thank you so much, everybody. Zombie Porn says, what's the over-under on Buzzballs Jen will drink at that Pokemon Night Out thing? More than he will drink during the Hentai Week? I thinking 4.5 is a good line.
The bodega near me has like a Buzzball statue inside that I thought I was hallucinating, but as on my like morning walk, but no, it's there. I will say the only Buzzball I actually like is the elf one, and we're out of season, so maybe.
Sorry.
Maybe just one.
Could they could you paint them to look like a Pokeball, and that would be exciting? Would that be exciting? Yeah. Would that be a good thing?
So a lot of people have tagged me in this, Grub. Someone was 3D printing these Pokeballs that hold a Buzzball inside.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
The world is beautiful.
The world is beautiful.
Tickwood says, just downloaded 4PGP, was previously playing Super Woden, obsessed, and I've recently finally gotten into Ridge Racer.
Hey. Oh, that's a Super Woden. It has presentation suggesting Ridge Racer type the Type 4, that's the name of it, right?
Type 4
it's
the one.
Yeah, you kind of have like the yellow and then like sort of the flat textures, and it's good. It's good.
Racing Winter Commence. Thank you, Grub. Yeah. God, I like racing games. Always excited to get more. I am looking forward to Forza Horizon 6. Really looking forward to the new Star Wars racing game. I sure hope that's good.
Galactic Racer. I'm hopeful.
T Bucket 2370 says, with the Gilligan's Island talk, have you all heard of the 80s cartoon Gilligan's Planet?
No.
Bob Denver returned to voice Gilligan. This sounds like the greatest thing ever. I mean, it told me everything I needed. I know what happens. Somehow Gilligan gets stranded on a planet.
Like, do you think he accidentally like wanders into a rocket before it takes off, or what? Do you think he's abducted by aliens? Like, how do you? What was the?
Look, it apparently is like. It's all of them still. Somehow it's the exact same people, and they have an alien friend. So it's not even like Gilligan got trapped with some new people. It's still
how many
the
episodes
Professor
is it?
And Marianne. I think it looks like it ran for a season or two. Yeah, 1 season, 13 episodes. We could watch all of this.
We should watch all of them.
The last episode was called Gilligan's Army. With there's a Darth Vader like in it.
Incredible.
Gosh, the first episode is called I Dream of Jeannie. You can't do that.
You can't do that.
That's already a thing.
All right. Here's the thing, because Backlar and Dan may not even listen to this episode because they're not on it. Let's watch the first episode by next week, and that is a guaranteed segment next week.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll do.
Listen to the premise here. So they're still trapped on the island, but the professor doesn't build a boat. He builds an interplanetary spaceship to get them off the island.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Easy.
And so they, instead of just like, I don't know, going to like the east coast of the U.S., they go to fucking space and crash land on a planet.
Why does he look like Fat Albert in this one? He's got the exact body of Fat Albert. That's Gilligan I'm speaking of. That's crazy.
What is this called again?
Gilligan's Planet. The first episode, Gilligan discovers a robot who is programmed to fulfill his master's wishes. Soon the castaways are planning ways to take over the robot to serve each of them. Oh, that wacky crew.
I'm watching the opening sequence right now. It better hit. It better just be that song.
That song better be good. Yeah.
Like, it's mostly just a talk over so far. It's explaining what's happening. There's been no
they need a
song.
lot of setup here. We don't want the children to be confused.
Hey, what happened to the Harlem Globetrotters? Like, where's our crossover with them? Because I feel like they did
still
it.
touring.
They're still around. I still get radio ads when they're in town. Yeah,
Okay.
they still do their thing.
All right.
I'm surprised the Washington Generals are still around. Now that's what's surprising.
Mikey, any more super chats, or are you stuck on Gilligan's Planet? Right
Yeah,
now?
Gilligan's Planet really
pretty
derailed
stuck
this
on
episode.
Gilligan's Planet. That's wild. Okay. Bobby Hot Dog. God, can't escape it. Says, uniform combining the fabric of the farm with the power of one uniform.
What?
I got all of that.
Uniform combining the fabric of the farm with the power of one uniform.
Well, you know what? Thanks, Bobby Hot Dog.
As a guy wearing these glasses, I fully understand all of that.
Okay. JD, goddamn it. JD Camp says, have you seen the new long IKEA hot dog?
Yes, I have.
No? How long are we talking here?
20 inches.
What? That's more than a foot long.
Exactly.
How are they cooking these?
I don't know.
That's the number of inches that you would divide between 3 spaces in a cord in a spider cuck chair. That's a solution to a puzzle right there.
So this is them going after Costco, right? I guess.
Well, they've had hot dogs though,
but not like this long.
That's true. Sure.
No one's had a hot dog this long. They didn't think it was possible.
No.
But look,
actually, 20 inches. Yes, because Sonic also has a long hot dog.
They have a foot long. Yeah.
Or here's the thing: is like I don't want that many hot dog bites with no bun. The bun adds a lot to the hot dog.
Is it a shorter bun?
It's an orthodox bun.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Orthodox bun is pretty
unorthodox dog in orthodox bun. It's a beautiful world. It's a beautiful world.
Okay, and then Slay Make Awesome says, since Mike reads all the comments, that means he gets all the feet back. Does that mean he is Giant Bomb's Monaco?
Yes. You are
clever
enough,
like
yes.
feedback. I'm Monaco.
And Monaco is into feet, right? Yes. Monoko, by the way.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. It's been a moment. Monaco's a city.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I still can't believe there's not a Switch 2 version of that game announced yet.
Yeah, weird.
Who knows?
Then Philipotron says, need more info about German food at Disney. Cheers from Berlin. Keep up the good work. Peen. Yeah, so there's a couple of booths there where you can get things like your traditional German pretzel. There's a new cheese sauce that everybody's very excited about for the pretzel, actually. That's a new development. Yeah, caramel couche. It is like Werther's sponsored, so it's that caramel, but like they're making fresh caramel there, and they have fresh caramel corn, and it's very good. And they have like a whole kind of bakery like window thing where you can pick out cookies and other caramel treats. Then the sit down restaurant is called the Beer Garden, and it's a buffet thing, and it kind of looks like you're in like an outdoor German village at night, and there's a stage, and they have people doing like a traditional German show. They bring out the Ricola horn at one point. That's very exciting. You can get like, liters of beer there. So you can get like a liter of a good German lager. You can get a Hefeweizen if you're like me. That's what I'm into. And
that too.
The buffet is going to have all the traditional spatzels and schnitzels and sausages and all that good stuff.
Mike, it tickles me the way you say caramel.
Caramel.
No.
Yeah,
keep saying caramel because it feels extra sticky to me.
Caramel. I think I grew up saying caramel.
Yeah, I think it's a regional thing. A lot of people don't respect that second A.
Yeah,
you don't need it,
Yeah, superfluous.
I take that second A and I turn it to an I and I throw it in the chimney. God, I'm starving now. All right, I think that's it. Yep, we got all the super chats. Thank you so much, everybody.
Beautiful.
How did we do almost 3 hours with just the three of us? That's dumb.
No, it's great. Oh wow, we are close to almost 3 hours. I woke up today thinking, or when I saw it was just us three, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a breezy show today.
Yeah.
Nope. That's right.
Are
Slate.
we the problem? Like, is it us three?
I think
don't
it's
know.
us three.
Although Dan's message with the the screen grab of Daisy dying and Mario Test Fever is doing numbers, it's somebody Steve Watts replied to it with like the Simpsons meme, Mario, Luigi, Daisy's dead. Daisy pops. That's right, dead serious about playing in a tennis tournament.
Folks, that about does it for
Mario 10 parts dead.
What do we got going on the rest of this week? We've got a special premiere happening very soon, right after this wrap. So if you're watching live, keep your peepers peeped to the YouTube. We got a new premium show. The pilot will be free for you folks at home. Chuck Towski is piloting.
Why
this
is it
one.
a secret? Shouldn't we tell people what it is so they want to go see it?
Don't you want to build up hype so people are like, what is this?
I don't know, guys. I really don't know the answer here.
Build up hype. They don't know what it is.
I mean, look. If they listened this long, I think they've earned a little bit more information.
Chuck said, look, it's Chuck's show. Chuck says no. All right. I'll
Chuck
respect
says no?
Chuck's decision.
I don't respect Chuck, though. So I'm still divided on that.
Yeah.
Everything, I yell at my families all the time. Everything's a surprise with you. Everything's got to be a surprise. Like, we're going to do this for a person's birthday. Don't tell them it's a surprise. Why is it a surprise?
I've heard you do this exact bit for them. Not bit, but like this exact diatribe to them. And I'm just like, this guy doesn't like surprises.
And then it's like always creates problems because it's like, like, well, we can't tell what's going on. And they already made plans because it was a surprise.
Well, here's the thing. This is a pre-taped, edited show. So
I guess nothing can go wrong.
Nothing can go wrong. It's fine.
Just wait.
Actually, yes. It's going to be fun times. Game Mess mornings popping off Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right, Grip?
That's right. Yep, we'll be back Monday or Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's right. Even Monday.
Not this Monday because we were taking
Shit!
President's Day off. But Blight Club does not take a day off. That is popping off tomorrow.
Shit!
But not next week. Shit!
Yes, but not next week. The voicemail dump truck this Thursday with our dear friend Abby Russell. Abby's going to be joining us on the dump truck with another announcement, another surprise. Sorry, Mike Menotti. And then we'll be talking over the PlayStation State of Play later in the afternoon. And then UPF, more LORT. That's right, folks.
We're a LORT exclusive website now.
LORT. Yeah, it's
LORT.
Friend Slop Fridays now. Even though it's not really Friend Slop, but you want to call it that anyways.
It's fun to say.
Thank the LORT for LORT. It's UPF.
Praise the LORT.
Praise the LORT. Blesses up to the LORT. We're probably going to play Mario Tennis.
Yeah, we're going to play Mario Tennis for sure.
and then finish it off with a good session of LORT.
Of course.
Folks, anything else we got to talk about? Anything else we got to plug?
If anything happens during that state of play that you think I would like, because I'm not going to be there, please mention me so I feel good.
Okay,
yes,
of course.
I mean, if something like very Mikey happens, I might try to call you. I know you're going to be busy, but
that's
yeah,
fine.
I might try to call
me.
you. Yes.
Yeah, please. If Ridge Racer or Kingdom Hearts happens, right, or Final Fantasy 9 remake is not dead. Yeah.
Those are the three. Yep.
I will pop off if there's a Kingdom Hearts in there. Don't worry, Mikey.
Okay, yeah. Look, yeah, you can let that moment be yours, Jen. You don't need to make that about me.
No. Okay. I'll hold up a framed picture of you that I made.
Yeah.
And longingly look at it.
Yeah, maybe sometime next week we can play Overwatch because I do want to.
Are you amazed that we're still going with the show?
No. I was going to say I don't want it to end. I think this is our best episode yet.
Exactly,
Can't
folks.
say why? Who could say why? Yeah,
I don't know. Hey, I forget where we were talking about this, but we established that 3 people is the most stable shape in geometry. So it's
the Mistbuster power. That's what it is.
That's what it is. Mikey's holding up a Nintendo Power.
Somebody asked what Nintendo Power I have behind me. My brother got me this for Christmas. It's the one with DuckTales.
One of the worst
on
uncles.
Shut the hell up. You put the uncle who invented having to say uncle when you're getting hurt over.
That
Uncle
was
Scrooge.
the reason I did the joke. I was just like, imagine being that guy.
That's what you started with?
That's what I started. I'm like, imagine being that uncle that invented say uncle. That's a cool dude.
So at that point, you're like, I need 3 fillers now.
Three uncles and Uncle Scrooge did not occur to me. No, yeah, that's right.
I hate you.
I think I would put Uncle Jesse up there. Folks.
Sure. Yeah. I need to rethink some things on my uncle ratings. I'll admit it.
Uncle Phil?
Uncle Phil.
Oh,
Uncle Phil.
Uncle
Sure.
Phil. What?
I put Uncle Fester. Yeah. Okay.
You know what? Take him off.
Yeah. He's too white.
That's right. He's too white. The White Devil
White
got me
Devil.
earlier.
We both went back to the White Devil.
We both went back to the White Devil. Maybe that's the root of the problem. Folks, we hope you have a happy Valentine's Day. Maybe avoid the White Devil. Avoid creepy uncles. We love you at home. He's been Jeff. He's been Mike. Jeff and Dan are out on assignment. I'm Jan. We'll see you next week for another episode of the Giant Bombcast. Until then,
Mythbusters out.
Goodbye. Go jump in an orb. Go get in the spider cuck chair.